Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Power Hour of Love. I'm Charboil and this is
El Bandito.
How's it going tonight, El Bandito?
Oh man, we're going. We're still fighting with some sound drivers and stuff like that out here on the Power Hour, man. So guys, let us know how we're sounding out there tonight. We think we've got some of the kinks worked out of it, although we don't have any audio capture of what's going out at this point, like at all. So we can hear ourselves and that's about it.
Yeah, and it definitely is something outside of our control, man. You know those cats over there at Microsoft, they're always like trying to make things better, but at the same time, you know, they kind of just throw monkey wrenches into our system.
No doubt. They try so hard to make things better for us, but 9 times out of 10 it gets a little hairy and it gets a little sticky because they don't give us a lot of forewarning on what they're doing. It's just you wake up one day and it kind of happens. But we are super excited to be here with all of you beautiful people. That is 110% faux show that we are down here hanging out and having a blast, you guys. So we appreciate all you beautiful people hanging out with us tonight and hanging out a little bit late. Look at that. I see McPats is down there in the chat. Eric G, our masterful moderator Aur3llia, make sure to !MOD track down our mod and let her know how wonderful she is. Look at Quad God coming in to hang out with us tonight. What is going on? Thank you for all those little hearties down there. Golden Girl Bell is hanging out with us. Aur3llia, if you don't mind, throw a shout out down there for Quad God. She's an awesome streamer right now, rocking Division 2, and I've been hanging out with her, every other day that I can, because she's rocking some Division 2 and just kicking some butt, and she's a super ton of fun, man. You guys got to get out there and check her out and show some love, because she is a super fun streamer, and I have a blast over there, so I know you guys will too. We'll throw a little bit of love out for Quad God right there.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, she sent us that awesome fire missile button.
Yes,
just super cool, and we're still going to send you something back in return, so one of these days we'll get to it. But thank you for joining us tonight. Guys, tonight we have a super fun and interesting topic, man. We're going to be talking about the summer movie preview. That's right. We're going to be covering all of the hottest new releases coming out this summer. And, of course, that barometer of what is hot and what is not is ours. So we're going to tell you guys about the movies we think you should not miss in the next few months coming out.
Well, of course,
they're pretty stellar.
Well, of course, the Legion, they party with us every week, so we think we're kind of on the same playing field when it comes to like what we like, what we dislike, So yeah, we're definitely going to give you some pros and cons to every movie we're going to talk about. But yeah, like you said, if we're talking about it tonight, we at least have a little inkling that we're like,
J-Dog coming in with that raid right there. And a sound that actually worked on our program. Hell yes.
Oh, man.
J-Dog, thank you so much for popping in. Look at X-Squire hanging out down there in the chat as well. Thank you so much for popping in. J-Dog, look at that. Aur3llia's all over it like, why don't I write in a paper plate in a snowstorm? She's the absolute master moderator down there. She's the best. Thank you for giving J-Dog that shout out. And J-Dog, how was the Mortal Kombat 11 going out there, dude?
Oh, man. I'm telling you, I saw some screen captures and stuff stuff of that game, I got to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to definitely be checking out J-Dog as he goes out there and he's streaming it. Yeah, I definitely want to get some sneak peeks, man. So I can't wait to see that.
One of our OG Legionnaires out there coming with us all the way since back in the Facebook Live days, all the way since way back in the Podbean audio-only days, out there on PoDunk Radio. McPatch is, of course, the ambassador of PoDunk Radio, the owner, the guy who got us started doing our show, hanging out in the chat with us. We appreciate him. If you want to throw him a shout-out as well, he is back in action and doing some fun streaming, and I know he's got a ton of horror info, so if you're specifically a horror movie fan, you want to get out there and check out McPatch's stream as well.
Oh yeah, man! I recently heard that he's actually been doing some more stuff over there on PoDunk. He's resurrected his Not for Air radio, so you definitely want to check that out. And like you said, he does a great horror podcast as well. Obviously, here I'm wearing my gas station T-shirt from Texas, so we gotta love him. We definitely have some horror news in the PoDunk news segment, but also we're gonna be talking about some horror movies. But aside from the movies, we also have the continuation of the Name That Game tournament tonight.
Yes, we do, and the second to last week of the Draft of Thrones. So if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, tonight we decided to just go spoiler heavy. So when we hit the Draft of Thrones later tonight, about 3/4 of the way through the show, we will just be diving into everything, and we'll let you guys know again, if you haven't seen it yet. But we figure with only one episode left, you guys are either fans by now or you're not, So we're going to be talking a little bit about the spoilers there. But speaking of spoilers, we did want to let you guys know next week, by kind of popular demand after talking to a bunch of people, we will be doing a full-on Avengers Endgame review and discussion. So if you've seen the movie, come by next week, Monday night, 9 p.m., and we're going to be here talking all about our thoughts on Endgame, what we liked about it, what we didn't like. We want to hear what you guys liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and we're going to do a full-on review and discussion with all you beautiful people. So if you've seen the movie already, definitely come by and share your thoughts and opinions on it. If you haven't, try to check it out this week sometime.
Yes.
The theaters are calmed down a little bit, and join us next Monday night for a spoiler-filled review where we can discuss the awesomeness that is Avengers Endgame.
Well, we've given it about a month. It's getting close to that month mark, and we wanted to make sure we gave everyone enough time. But like you said, we get it that some folks, it's hard to get out there and check them out. But definitely, like you said, if you're going to be hanging out with us next week, you're going to want to have seen Endgame so you can throw down and not have anything spoiled for you.
No doubt. But thank you to all you beautiful people for hanging out with us tonight. We'll throw a little bit of love out there for all you beautiful people.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to kick things off tonight. Like we said, we've got a bunch of stuff happening. And first and foremost, we're going to jump right in to our Name That Game tournament. That's right, guys. This, of course, is the game where we are going to show a single still image of a video game, and you guys have to guess the title of that game from a single frame. Now, the first, second, and third person to do that will each earn points, a couple of points more for first and second than third, but everyone will get points in that order. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most points will win some fabulous prizes. Is there any word on those prizes yet, Senior Bowl?
Oh, man. Next week, along with our spoiler, filled, I am going to reveal what the prize is going to be. But like I said, it's something really cool, and I think you guys are going to dig it. So next week we'll definitely be unveiling that. But that doesn't mean you don't want to participate.
It'll
this
be worth
week.
it.
Yeah,
it'll be worth it.
Yeah, you want to get those points. So definitely.
Eric G down there, he won the Fandango gift card that we gave out a few weeks ago, and he says him and his wife got to check out Endgame over the weekend.
There you go.
Awesome, man. I'm glad that you got to check out the movie. So that was super cool, and I'm glad that we could do that for one of our awesome Legionnaires out there. Again, Eric G, one of the OGs, coming with us from back in the doozy. So we're excited that you're hanging out with us here on Twitch. J-Dog coming in hot with that Super Mario Brothers, man. What would you do if it was Super Mario Brothers, right?
Oh, man.
He's a warlock.
You would definitely be getting them points.
No doubt, guys.
Let's go ahead and drop it
ready?
for him.
You ready to check it? Here it comes at you right here.
And we're going to make that big.
Yep.
All right, here we go, guys.
Oh, I guess we're not going to make it.
Uh-oh.
Hang on now.
Hold on, it's coming. It's coming.
This is why we should check things before we jump into the next scene. That's okay.
Hey, well, like we said, got a little sneak there. We're going to throw it back up. We're going to give plenty of time so you guys can see it. And it's going to be coming your way right now.
Yeah, so check this action out. Senior Bowl, you got to move a little bit. Look, you're in the way of this other exciting character right here. Mr. Fusion coming in hot down there. How you doing tonight, Mr. Fusion? Thank you for joining us. We're going to be hitting up that summer movie preview in just a little bit. Right now, we're doing the Name That Game tournament. J-Dog, I think this one's going to roll back quite a bit farther than Zelda 2.
Yeah, this one definitely has retro written all over it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Aur3llia out there might actually know what system this is on just by looking at it. So feel free to give that hint to some fans if you don't know this game right off the bat, Aur3llia.
Oh, man, our buddy Life Reboots out there hanging out. And, man, I got to say, after Life was killing it last week, he scored a total of 24 points in the game last week. Now, don't get me wrong, man. There were some other folks that scored well, but definitely Life was killing it. So I see he's throwing down some guesses.
Yep. It's not Pitfall. It's not Indiana Jones. Aur3llia is saying it is Atari.
Yes.
She says she knows, but she's staying quiet. Do you know the actual game, though? If you know the game, Aur3llia, throw it out there because other people will still grab points,
Absolutely.
Share it with a friend if you want to do it that way.
We definitely don't have no rules that our moderator can't participate and name that game.
Yeah, exactly. Julio Redwood coming in hot down there can tell it's Atari because it reminds me of that E.T. game. Right? And with these descriptive characters, like how could you not instantly recognize this guy, the man in the yellow hat? This is what, like Curious George the game or something.
Well, take it as this game, I could have used a different image that you guys probably would have jumped on, but I was like, that would be a little too easy. So we had to shake it up a little bit.
It is, but it's very difficult. But I'll give you a hint. This guy over here on that side, far over there, he's flying, right? Or he looks like he's flying. What has he got? Some kind of
helicopter,
umbrella helicopter thing that he's flying around with there. So there are people that fly in this game. Perhaps they use a cape.
Oh,
maybe the main protagonist may have a cape in this game, and that was something we thought might have been a little too obvious. But on second thinking, maybe we should have used that one.
Hey, it's okay. You make it a little difficult, man. Like I said, Life was like nailing those last week. I was like, not that I made it a mission for every one of them, but I'm like, I'm gonna make it a little more difficult this time. But we're only gonna give about another 15 seconds or so.
All right, it's not Inspector Gadget, Mr. Fusion, but you're close. It is a heroic character like that. But think of someone who would have been around way back in the day. Oh, looks like Mr. Fusion's got a pretty good guess right there.
Oh man, he may
be onto something there.
Man.
Mr. Fusion guessing the old Man of Steel. Could it be that he made an appearance on Atari? I don't know. We know a few weeks ago we showed you guys some clips of Spider-Man on Atari.
Yes.
So it's certainly possible. Life Reboots like Superman, I suppose. Oh, look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's someone getting extra points if they guess it third because it is Superman on the old video computer system game program.
I know, man. It's like we were talking earlier about movie titles and how sometimes they could be too long. Yeah, that video game title back there. But that was actually on the Atari 2600.
Nice.
And a little fun factoid about this game: it's one of the few Atari games, probably not the first, but one of the few that actually have an ending.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so in the whole game, you start off and you walk as Clark Kent.
Okay.
And that's actually Lex Luthor, with that helicopter thing on, and he blows up a bridge, so you can't get across that chasm that's right there. Mm-hmm. So you have to walk back. There's like a little phone booth on the first level. You go in and you turn into Superman, and you fly around. You have to collect the pieces of the bridge and put them back. Then once it's complete, you turn back into Clark Kent, and you can walk to the...
That's what we should have had, was a phone booth, so that no young people would know what
that would really, really blow it out of the water,
just
right?
a photo of a phone booth right there.
But
Esquire, video computer system. Pretty hot, right? That's nice, man.
But absolutely, congratulations, Mr. Fusion. And, of course, also Life Reboot's going to get some points in there, too, for throwing that down. But like I said, some of the ones...
Third place gets points as well.
Yeah, throw it on down, definitely. Well, like I said, we got some obscure ones today, but we also have some ones that are more recent. So some of the newer players, definitely stuff that's pre-2000.
Yes. Everything is super hard tonight, though, in my opinion. Like, he sent me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, dude, these are hard. But you know what? You guys were flying through them last week, so we'll see. We'll find our balance here. But for right now, guys, we're going to jump into the summer movie preview. We're going to start off coming up May 17th, which is just this Friday.
This Friday.
Right? Coming out. with John Wick 3, man. Now, let me know down in the chat if you're excited to see this gun fu crazy movie, because, like, man, since the first one came out, this has been a sensational hit. You know, Keanu Reeves really has, ever since The Matrix, not really had an opportunity to kind of kick ass the way he did in The Matrix.
Yes.
You know, and with John Wick, he certainly gets the opportunity to do that, and in a kind of more grounded way that I think a lot more people connect to than the sort of really complicated storylines that were flying around through The Matrix. So
it's
I think
like, you hurt my dog, I hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Now, I know I told you earlier, but I want to share with the Legion, I have not seen any of these movies. So I'm probably one of the rare few, because I know they're very like acclaimed. Like, people say they're a great action flick. So I need to go and check them out. But I mean, I've seen the preview, and it looks like you said, gun fu is like and sword fu, and you know, just all kinds of fu on that one. So it's pretty awesome.
No doubt. I just realized I completely forgot to change our banner tonight. Like, it's still rolling a bunch of stuff from last week.
Yeah, look at it. Wait, it's still pretty accurate.
It is.
No, I know. Yeah, there's some stuff in there about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. But
so I'm gonna fuss with that while you're working on telling them a little bit about. Well, actually, I'll tell you guys a cool story that I just saw today regarding John Wick, because this was actually really, really cool. I was watching the Colbert Report, some clips from it, and Keanu Reeves was on there promoting the movie. And he was talking about the film and stunts that they do and things like that. And then he did, I see Eric G mentioned it down there. I would have guessed Bill and Ted if there was a phone booth. He did talk about Bill and Ted's, what are they? Face the Music. That's the kind of title of it right now. And that may change, he said, but that's the movie that they're going with right now. So he was talking about how it could be the end of the universe if they don't successfully create the song that they were destined to create to unite mankind and all this. And Stephen Colbert asked him, he said, just out of the blue, he's like, what do you think happens to us when we die? You know? Like, pretty heavy question to just ask somebody impromptu on air. And in really super cool Keanu Reeves fashion, he responded by saying, well, I know our loved ones will miss us. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
And you're like, damn, that's a good answer. You know?
Is that a very John Wick answer?
You know, I'm not sure that's a very John Wick answer. I'm pretty sure John Wick ain't gonna miss nobody except his dog, but still. No, honestly, it's been a while since I saw the first John Wick, and I loved how much it revolved into this sort of community of like assassins for hire and stuff like that, and how he could literally pick up the phone and call a service that would come and clean up a crime scene he had created.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's really interesting stuff like that they did in these films. That's really, really kind of fun.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to check them out. I know a lot of people have been. Yeah, they've been like I said, I watched the trailer for part 3 just because you know, we were going to be talking about it tonight. Definitely want to have a little bit of backing, but I'm not going to lie to the Legion. You know, I'm going to let them know, hey, I've not seen these flicks. A lot of it didn't make sense to me, but I did really like that the one lady was like, wait, you did this all because of a puppy? Yeah. He's like, it was more than a puppy.
Well, what's interesting is that, I'm sorry, was there more to that?
No, he was just like, he's just like, it's more than a puppy.
Well, I like the fact that Halle Berry is in this film, right? And she plays a... let's just go with another character. But she has these trained attack dogs that are Belgian Malinois, which are kind of like small German shepherds. And he was talking about the difficulty of working with like highly trained animals like that, you know, that they give them a lot of specific instructions to not accidentally do something that an assailant would do, because he obviously looks very threatening in the film.
Sure. Yeah, he's sitting there trying to film a scene and suddenly this thing's tackling him.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like a really cool film. Like, they got a lot of neat, interesting stuff going on down in there. So it should be one to keep an eye on, and it should be a super ton of fun. But we got plenty of different movies and different genres here to talk about tonight. And next up, we're talking about Aladdin.
Yeah, we got 1 week later. You know, I'm sure you guys have seen this trailer. It's been the talk of a lot of the internets. You know, everyone's, you know, at first everyone was mad that Will Smith wasn't blue. Then when they made him blue, everyone thought it was a horror movie. And then they were like, hey, come on, you know, it's Aladdin, you know. Dun-dun-dun-dun. We never had a friend like the genie. I know some of these cats out there, they don't want a friend that looks like the genie just because they were saying he was so scary. But I like... kind of just everything I've seen about this movie, I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. I would like, I'm not going to run out to see it.
Yeah.
But, definitely having the kids and stuff like that, they're probably going to want to check it out when it comes out on DVD, so I'll probably catch it there. But, these films have been doing pretty good so far.
Yeah.
The Maleficent, which I know wasn't a remake, but, is based on a Disney property. And, of course, Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. They've been really, they've been banking in, with these live action, versions of the films. So, yeah, well, we'll have to see how well it goes down. Now, I believe the director of this one also directed something else, but it escapes me at the moment exactly what he was doing. I didn't think we were going to be hanging on Aladdin too much, but what do you think about Aladdin?
What do I think about Aladdin? I think the original animated film stands alone.
Yes.
I don't know that there's a need for this movie, but, maybe they're going to take it in a couple different directions that are unexpected and going to make it interesting. But I have a feeling that much like Beauty and the Beast, it's going to mostly mirror the original story from the cartoon. And I've kind of seen that story. Personally, I enjoy animated films very, very, very much, whether they're 3D animated or traditional 2D animation. And I don't think that live action often brings much more to the table than 2D animation does. I mean, let's look at something like The Hobbit versus the trilogy of The Hobbit. Was there really that much more in the live action one that you didn't get out of the animated one?
No, that's very true. I just think, like you said, a lot of times they're like, oh man, they're, they could, it's almost 30 years old. I get that, that, it's kind of, there's definitely been some good time that has passed, but you're right. Why not just re-release the original? I mean, hey, is Gilbert Godfrey playing the bird? That's what I want to.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen much of Iago in the trailers. Maybe I've missed him.
I know he's flying around, but I don't think you ever hear him talk.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, check it out down here. We got, Eric G says we are planning to take the kids to watch Aladdin. The trailers look good so far. Yeah, they're not bad. It looks like the same as the other movie, which was good. Aurelia says, can I just get a new movie and not a remake for once?
This is...
Yes.
This is definitely the summer of remakes. There's some original stuff out here, but yeah, there's quite a few remakes coming at us. A few sequels, too, though.
Demo joining us out here in chat. What is up, my dude? Chimera seconding what Aurelia said, that he as well would like to see some original movies and not remakes of stuff. Yeah, I'm 1,000% with that. I don't care much for remakes personally, unless the original movie was kind of shitty. Then, yeah, do a remake. That makes sense.
I wonder if they're going to do the Return of Jafar. Remember they made like direct DVD or direct.
The Return of Jafar was a pretty cool ass movie.
Oh,
I gotta say.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about it was when Aladdin was like, "Well, dude, he's a genie. He can't kill us. So what are we afraid of?" And I think it was Iago that told him, the genie told him, "You'd be surprised what you could live through."
Yes.
And I was like, "Damn, Disney taking it dark right there." Man.
And what's funny is Robin Williams didn't come back. That was actually the guy who voiced Homer Simpson.
Yes, Dan Castanella.
Yeah, that actually came in. So, I mean, it is kind of led something to be like, well, hey, that guy's still around. Maybe he could have been the genie. But, of course, they want that star power that is Will Smith to kind of, sell tickets and stuff. But I'm sure there's just going to be people that check it out just because it's a Disney, movie that's being remade. So we'll have to see what's up. But there's also another wild movie coming out on May 24th.
Yeah, and again, this isn't really a remake, but it kind of is a remake, right? So this is Brightburn. If anyone's not familiar with this, tell them a little bit about it, Senior Bull.
Well, from what we've learned from the trailer so far is this is actually put out by I don't think James Gunn's directing it, but he's producing it. So he definitely has some good hands on it. But this meteorite comes to Earth. It's found by a family out there and have a farm. They find this thing and there's a little baby in there and they decide to raise it as their own. It starts to exhibit a little bit of like superhuman strength and stuff. Is this starting to sound kind of familiar?
Maybe like an Atari game that used to be on the 2600. Maybe, my dude.
Can shoot laser beams from his eyes.
Yeah.
Can fly.
Now, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but DC Comics back in the day, not DC Comics, Marvel Comics back in the day released alternate versions of what is the Justice League, right? They called them Squadron Supreme, and they did kind of get authority from DC to do this, right? It was sort of a cooperative effort, right? And basically what they did was they redid a bunch of characters from the 70s, updated their stories to more mature stories, and then kind of retold the story of the Justice League. The main character in it, whose name was Hyperion, was the Superman-esque character who had crash-landed in a small, Bible Belt town out there in the Midwest and was raised by, a small town family, right? But the, twist on the story was that the U.S. government immediately intercepted the baby. The family he grew up with were paid actors who were supposed to just be nice to the kid all the time. And his whole home was encased inside of a Samio. Thank you for that sub right there, my dude.
Thank you so much.
You're the best. Aur3llia, make sure you throw that shout out down there for me. And guys, definitely get out there and check out Samio. He's an amazing musician who likes to play some Rocksmith live on stream, as well as some other games. I've seen him rock some Hades and other different games as well. But an amazing bassist, like I said, you and Senior Bull would get along very well. But he can live riff songs, even if they don't have the bass lines included on Rocksmith, man. He can just do them live. He's an amazing musician, guys. He was streaming earlier today, and I missed it. It's difficult for me to get to his Monday streams because I'm working on my Power Hour stuff all day. But definitely get out there and check him out. Super great streamer, and thank you so much for that sub, dude. It means a ton.
Awesome.
Throw a little bit more love out there for Sam.
So you were talking a little bit about Hyperion.
Hyperion, yes. So yeah, and his house is actually inside of a government installation. They watch everything he does, but they don't realize that he has super hearing, X-ray vision, and all these other abilities where he knows the situation of what's going on. So he grows up in a completely jacked up environment where he feels really almost enslaved and oppressed and not really happy about his whole situation. And when he is told later to be a superhuman soldier for the U.S. government, he's basically like Superman for hire, and they're sending him out to Vietnam and different places to go quell wars over in the Middle East and stuff like that. He's not really super happy about it, and things go drastically wrong from there as he inadvertently starts killing people. Even as a young child, as a baby, he heat visions through his pet dog because it scares him, and just a number of crazy things like that. And I feel like Brightburn is very much that story.
Absolutely, man. What, one thing I know would be a little bit of a twist where, like you said, it sounds like Hyperion still wanted to kind of do the right thing.
Yes.
Brightburn is kind of like really going off the deep end here, where it seems like when this movie ends, this character will actually be a villain. So it's kind of like a bad guy Superman flick. And like I said, the trailer looks interesting enough. I just think it's going to get a lot of flack because people are going to be like, oh, it's just like bad guy Superman. Like you said, while it's not a remake, it, like you said in the beginning, it kind of is because it's just reinventing a character that everyone knows.
It is, but like so many people have a lot of beef with Superman, saying that he's too perfect of a character and yada yada and things like that. And I have a lot of different thoughts on that because I feel like Superman being quasi invincible is actually a weakness. Because we'll talk about it more in our Endgame review next week, but there is a right way of taking nigh invincible characters and making their power work against them.
Yes.
And this definitely happens in Endgame with a number of characters. So if you guys are interested in that, come back next week, 9 p.m. We'll be talking about that, and I'll give you the similarity between Superman and an MCU version of that character. But Samuel, we're doing fantastic. Severed Astronaut, thank you for joining us tonight as well. Hope all is going well out there with you, sir. Got a bunch of chat happening out there. Skid VR out there. What is up, my dude? Thank you for showing up and hanging with us tonight. We're heading through the summer movie preview, letting you guys know the hottest movies that are coming at you this summer and things we think you're not going to want to miss.
And man, while we've just talked about pretty much the next 2 weeks in May, we got to talk about the last weekend in May, man, because there's a movie coming out that like I've been waiting for, and since I saw the trailers, I'm like, hell yeah! So why don't you throw it on up there?
We're talking the King of Monsters, Godzilla.
Absolutely, man. I was a big fan of the 2004 reimagining, I guess is what you'd call it. I mean, it would be a remake, but it was so good because I mean, it was. Here it was made here in America, where 20 years ago they had that Matthew Broderick one, which is pretty much hated universally. But the one in 2014 was really good, and then they went ahead and they made that Kong movie, and now they have this Godzilla King of the Monsters coming, where we're also going to get to see Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. Or Ghidorah, however you want to go about it. I'm pretty sure they call him Ghidorah. But, definitely, I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be that, if you're a fan of Pacific Rim, give this one a try, because
it's probably going to be a blast.
Yeah, pretty much monsters beating the ever-living hell out of each other.
No doubt. Well, looks like Severed Astronaut's heading out, man. I know you're going through some stuff down there. I see it in the chat. You take care of yourself. If you need anything, you reach out to the Legion, man. We got your back. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight, and take care of yourself. Your little bit of love straight out for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I've seen the trailers for this. I've never really been into Godzilla movies. I think the only one I ever saw was the Matthew Broderick one, which is like, shot to the heart, right?
No.
But while I'm very excited to see this movie, because I have enjoyed things like Pacific Rim very, very, very much, I hate the trailer to this movie. And that probably sounds dumb, but again, it's that whole nostalgic member berries. Hey, remember this when you were a kid? Like, look at the soft piano music and how we're going to, like, make it more mature because you're, like, a grown-up now. And I'm like, that just comes off so cheesy and fakey. And that's such a fad in Hollywood for, like, all these retro trailers. Like, remember the Ghostbusters remake trailer did that?
Yes.
And then, like, the Star Wars did that, when The Force Awakens was coming out. And I know that's kind of beautiful piano music anyways, but you know what I mean? They kind of slow it down and they give it this sort of majestic beat. And I'm like, dude, it's Godzilla. Can't you just give me a trailer where it's just like, yeah, giving it some business,
Well, I know, like, in the movie, if you haven't seen the 2014 one, this might get, it's, at first, like, everyone thinks Godzilla's going to destroy everything, but it's revealed that he's more of a protector of Earth. So it's kind of like now that these other titans are waking up, and they're like, well, they're just going to destroy the place because they want to get out of here, but Godzilla's coming. So I get it a little bit, but you're right. I mean, using like a piano, like, over the rainbow kind of deal, like it is. Yeah.
It's just getting a little old with trailers nowadays to me. It's a little bit played out. But I can say this. I know that there's such a thing as a mecha Godzilla. That's the shit I want to see. When do we see in that movie? A giant robot Godzilla that like we built and I think goes insane. I think it's like a
yeah. It's crazy. Well, I know they're gonna do Kong versus Godzilla next, but then I'm sure Mecha Godzilla would be the most likely one. And supposedly, the director that's directing King of the Monsters is he also did like Krampus and Trick or Treat. Yeah. So this is really like his first like really big budget film.
The good Krampus though, because they made like 8 of them. Like the good one.
Yeah, the one that people really dug and still watch at Christmas time. Yeah. But like his whole thing though is he's saying there's going to be surprises. So I don't think we're going to see Mecha Godzilla, but some of the other Biomate and some of the other like
some of the other summons from Final Fantasy
VII. Yeah. Bahamut shows up. Yeah, why not? But
hey, shout out to Life Reboot rocking some Final Fantasy VII out there.
Yes. Well, hey, we've talked about May.
Yeah. Oh, we got some cool comments about Godzilla.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so Life Reboot says the late 90s Godzilla, the Matthew Broderick one, was the first bad movie I ever saw in a theater. Like, before then, I didn't realize bad movies existed, and I was shocked. That sucks, man. But totally kind of funny and super relatable. Sam says, I'll be lurking for a while here. Having to school our works accountant on how tax works. There you go, man. Good luck with that. Yes, definitely, really good luck with that. Remember Bomb Funk's MCS mix? Bomb Funk mix? I don't know what that is. They were the shit, Skid says. All right. No, I don't think I remember that.
Yeah. Mecha Barbara Streisand?
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one, right? All right, then some talk about taxes and stuff. Have you guys talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake trailer yet?
Not yet, but we're definitely we'll work that in very soon.
Yes. But considering we just rounded out May, like Senior Bowl was saying, we're about to jump into the month of June and let you know what's coming out next month. It's going to be pretty exciting. You want to keep your eyes on. But just to kind of spice things up a bit, how about a little more of that Name That Game tournament? Again, I totally forgot all week, but anyone who wants to, I'm going to throw it out there, carte blanche. Anyone who wants to, record a drop of you saying, Name That Game, and send it to us over at the Power Hour. You can either whisper it to us, you can hit us on any of our social medias and DM us out there. If you want to shoot us an email, it's at powerhouroflove@gmail.com. and send us over that graphic or that audio clip, and we want a cool announcer thing. So every time we bounce that up, it could do that.
Oh yeah,
like, I really wanted Aur3llia to do it. I thought that'd be fun. I know she's super busy, and I didn't even think about asking her all week, so I feel bad. But if anybody's got the time to do it, feel free to shoot it our way, and it'd be super dope. Maybe we'll just switch them up every week.
There you go.
Quad God's down there like, boom, if you want to do it, Quad, that would be sick, man.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's stir this game up there and see if they can name it.
Here we go, guys. Name that game.
Oh, man, this one's gonna need to be a little bigger.
Super big. Look at that. This is a wild looking game right here. Wait, what am I doing? She says, Aur3llia. No, remember last week we were talking about having you do that drop of like, name that game. I forgot to ever get with you to actually do it.
Now I'm gonna say that this, as far as tonight's go, this one's probably the most difficult, probably the most obscure. But I'm gonna throw a little hint. It's kind of good that Kamir just jumped in there and mentioned the Final Fantasy remake.
Dude, somebody totally just nailed it down there in the chat. That is sick. It is not Diablo Quad God, but you're very close. That's a good guess. Aur3llia says, oh, yeah, I can do that. Everybody send clips. Maybe, we do like 5 or 6 of these a night, so we'll have a bunch of different ones. But I'm thinking that Mr. Esquire got a little close right there, didn't he?
All right, I'm giving it to him. He got it, man. No, that's awesome, man. No, dang. This one was probably our hardest one this week. So you guys definitely want to stick around because we're going to have some ones that are, they're not easy, like you said earlier, but yes, absolutely. Vagrant Story. The funny thing about this game and why we wanted to bring it up too is that while, it's not connected, to like Final Fantasy, it actually, the setting in the game is the same world that you play Final Fantasy 12 in, which we know just got its re-release like with all the other Final Fantasy games. So I'm sorry. It is Final Fantasy 12. Yeah.
12?
Valence, I believe, is the name of like the world that you're in.
That would have come out like way on PS2 or something.
It did, but they re-released it. Like like they had this big like re-release. That's probably, I don't want to say it's the only reason why Life is playing 7, but I know they just recently put those back out where now you can play them on Xbox.
Gotcha.
You can play them on the Switch.
Okay, so 12 is set in Vagrant Stories world.
Yes.
Gotcha. Now I'm following you.
And what was cool about this game is like it kind of did that Dragon Age thing where it stopped time and you could actually pick. Cool. It was almost like VATS-ish.
Yeah,
like where you could pick where you wanted to attack the skeleton because if he's holding a shield but this arm's exposed, bam, you want to blast him on that arm that's exposed. So it was really neat. But yeah, it was your typical like RPG type story. You fight dragons and stuff like that. Go through dungeons. But yeah, it was fun. But it's a very hard find. Like it's very rare. So.
No, very cool, man. It's definitely rare enough that I have never heard of it. So, Esquire, excellent job calling that one out. And demo's like challenge mode activated. Yes, and your bowl might have cranked up the difficulty a bit because you guys were plowing through them last week. But we'll probably have a little up and down. A couple easy ones, a couple hard ones, man.
Well, I see Demo asking, Life didn't win. Well, if you're referring to last week, absolutely, like Life scored the most points, but we're actually doing this the whole month of May. So, we got a couple more tonight, but even next week and the following week, we'll have more games to show. So definitely, if you know or if you just want to take a guess, throw it down in there. And even if somebody gets the correct answer, be sure to throw the answer in there because you'll still get some points for that.
No doubt. Yeah, first, second, and third place all gets points. So I see you guys kind of picking back a guess. I probably shouldn't say it's the right answer the second someone puts it. Well, that's my fault. But.
That one, Esquire. Awesome, dude. Like that was it. Like I said, that was one. I honestly, Life. I after last week, I'm like, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a game where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stump everybody.
So you tried to get a game to stump Life, who was playing a Final Fantasy game, and this is in the Final Fantasy.
Hey, at the same time, I don't want to make it too far out.
No, you're right. You still stumped him, so I guess it worked. Good logic, man.
It was just one of those things where I was like, all right, I gotta up the difficulty level a little bit, bring a new challenger to. But definitely, we're going to have some more soon. So.
Yes. I have to say, though, I am looking forward to the month of June, especially as far as cinema goes, because releasing June 7th, I'm super stoked to see Dark Phoenix, man. This, of course, is a continuation of the Apocalypse film that they did not too long ago, and is the next chapter in Esquire. Thank you so much for that sub, my man. Look at that. That's amazing. Subscribe for 2 months. Heck yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
throw you a little bit more love out
Throw
there.
him some love, man.
Throw you a little bit of love.
Got that Vagrant story going.
Yeah. I'm glad you're having fun, and thanks for sticking around. We're going to have a lot more Name That Game and cool summer preview movies coming right up. And right in the middle there, we have got some Draft the Thrones action coming at you guys pretty soon. Thank you, Aurelia, for that shout-out. I appreciate that so much. Totally spaced on it, so I appreciate that. But Dark Phoenix, yes, the continuation of the X-Men story. Now that Days of Futures Past has merged the future X-Men with the past X-Men, and we have a pretty clean timeline of events going on. Apocalypse was a pretty weird take on Apocalypse, but a good X-Men movie in terms of all the characters made sense and their relationships did and stuff like that. And moving here into Dark Phoenix with... I just want to call her Sansa. I know this actress's name. But yes, the actress that plays Sansa on Game of Thrones is playing Jean Grey.
Man, it's completely just like it's almost like the Matrix twitched there for a second there. Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner. There you go. I was Google mating it, but you got it, man.
I had to reach into those memory banks.
Yeah. Thank you, J-Dog. Let's see some emotes in the chat down there. Why not, guys?
Absolutely.
For both Sam and for X-Squire out there, throwing down some love. Super appreciate it. I'm going to throw a bunch of emotes down here.
Well, we know that the Phoenix storyline was tackled in The Last Stand way back in like 2006.
Yes.
But
tackled, pushed down to the ground, face buried in the dirt. No, I mean, it wasn't a horrible telling of it. I think there were some missteps with it. Again, they got corrected with Days of Futures Past.
Yes.
Bryan Singer kind of returning to the franchise to erase the mistakes of other directors and clean up their timeline, which I thought was really fantastic and totally made sense for the X-Men universe, because anyone who's ever read an X-Men comics knows that like they don't make any sense. They time travel so much and screw up their own history that it's usually a total mess. But the Dark Phoenix saga is literally one of the most iconic stories in comics.
Yep.
You know, one of the best-selling ones in history. Was featured in the animated series in the early 90s and spectacularly well done there, considering all of the comic book aspects that they brought in, the cosmic level of the Shi'ar Empire and so on and so forth, the Macran crystals, everything relating to Dark Phoenix and what she was as an actual intergalactic entity, right? So since none of that was featured in The Last Stand, it did leave a lot of fans disappointed. But of course, Femke Johansson's portrayal of Jean Grey was fantastic and very much loved by fans alike. She was great. Just the script was a little weird.
Exactly. The actress did good, but it just and the whole wrap around with Magneto. I mean, we know he's going to be in this one as well, but it seems more like
played by Michael Fassbender. Outstanding. You know?
Now in the trailer where he's like, "Are you pretty much? Did you come to mess with me?" And he's like,
Did you come to threaten me?
Yeah, and he's like, yes. And she's like, "You shouldn't do that." Like it's like, oh man.
Yeah, no, it looks great. Jessica Chastain, I have no idea who she's playing. I originally thought she was playing a version of Emma Frost, but in the latest trailer, she actually says to her, "My power, no one survived it before." So I don't know if she's some.
She's like the Phoenix entity.
Yeah, like a manifestation of the Phoenix itself, perhaps, or
could be
of a former host, maybe. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to find out. Like you said, Sophie Turner's fantastic as Jean Grey so far.
Yes.
They did really set the framework for this film in Apocalypse, where she kind of phoenixed out a little bit at the end, and everyone was a little taken aback by her power. So getting to see where this goes from here is really, really, really going to be high up on my list of summer movie watches.
Well, and also, aside from the New Mutants movie that comes out later this year, I mean, it really is the last X-Men film before they get integrated into the MCU, which I know they've already said it's going to be a complete, reset. Like, it's like they're going to have, Wolverine, at least so far. I mean, no one knows for sure, but I have a feeling they're going to kind of nix out, they're going to put a bookend on what's happening here, and then they'll get reintroduced or get introduced into the actual MCU.
Yeah. Whether or not they're the same actors is still yet to be seen. I mean, that's far in the future. I think Kevin Feige, the kind of spearhead of all the MCU, is in talks a lot of times and in interviews saying that it's going to be a while before they get these two universes integrated.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk more about that next week.
Yes, absolutely.
But I love X-Squire says, wow, I haven't heard the term Macran crystals since the original X-Men cartoon. And I have to say, as impressed as you are that I just pulled that out of my behind us, the fact that you spelled it right, super dope.
Absolutely, man. No, very, very important to the comics as well. I know they help kind of fix the things that happen in Age of Apocalypse. So definitely, what's up, buddy?
I love it. Eric G's like Wolverine and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be awesome, and X-Squire's like Logan and Kingdom Hearts would be PogChamp right there.
That would be pretty awesome. But
New Mutants got pushed to 2020. I hadn't seen that yet,
oh,
Ghetto
wow.
Devil.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
I guess the X-Men franchise is staying alive for another year.
Yeah, no, definitely. From the way they make it sound, from the way Kevin Feige makes it sound, that it's not going to be till like 2021 or 22 that they even attempt to bridge any gaps between.
That makes sense.
The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the MCU.
Oh.
But who knows? Maybe the ball will get rolling faster than we think, and they're just being coy about it. But there is a lot of legality to it all.
Sure.
Like, interestingly enough, one of the things about the Avengers has always been that the Hulk, his license does not allow him to be featured in any other solo films that star the Hulk. But he is allowed to be featured in ensemble films.
Oh,
which is why he can be part of Thor Ragnarok, but he can't be in, like, Hulk, the Incredible Hulk Part 7.
I gotcha. Well, dang. Well, June 7th, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Gonna definitely check it out. And but man, we got a lot of movies to talk about.
We do.
So,
we're burning through these way slower than we thought.
But hey, let's jump to June 14th because
about Men in Black International coming at us June 14th. And speaking of Thor Ragnarok, damn, these segues right in themselves tonight. But we have got Tessa Thompson reuniting with Chris Hemsworth, Valkyrie and Thor respectively from Thor Ragnarok to return as the international version of Men in Black, who appear to be stationed in the UK and are fighting evil over there.
And from what I think I saw from the trailers, I believe Chris Hemsworth, he's from the United States, but gets sent over there. I think that's kind of how I believe so. I believe it's like a, but no. Actually, I think it's the other way around. She figures stuff out, and then like she gets sent. So I could be completely off.
They both
with this
seem
one.
like they're from the UK to me.
It could be. But what do you think about this one? It's been a couple years since we got a Men in Black film.
After the second Men in Black movie came out, I was very not excited for the third one, and I didn't even go see it in theater. The one with Josh Brolin and the time travel and stuff. But I'm enough of a time travel junkie that I had to watch it when it came out on like DVD, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really, really well done. I thought the time travel was really well handled, and I enjoyed the seriousness of that movie. And as well as the comedy, it still had a lot of comedy in it, but the story made sense. Where like Men in Black 2, it was like the story was a little fast and loose, So I'm actually pretty excited about this.
Well, like thinking back to about a year ago when we had that awesome interview with Roland Mann and the rest of the crew from Malibu Comics. If you guys don't know, that's the comic group that actually created the Men in Black and a bunch of other great stories. I'd be very interested to find out what they think about the MIB International. I'm sure they loved when their, initial creations got to see, become such a cinema hit. But I don't know if this was ever like an actual thing from the comics or if it's just something they're like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to take the whole MIB thing over across the seas there.
Yeah, so. I think they very much needed to change it up. That one way or the other, it couldn't just be another Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
And not anything against Will Smith's portrayal of Agent J in the movies, but, it needed to be something different for once.
I want Edgar's suit, damn it. Edgar's suit.
You want the cockroaches back?
Hey, man, Vincent D'Onofrio, man.
Water.
Hey, well, apparently he ain't going to be able to do Daredevil no more, so I'm just getting back as the Edgar suit.
You never know, man. Maybe Hulu will pick up that.
I hope so.
Come on, Hulu. You're our last hope out there.
So what else is coming out on June 14th?
Yeah, also on June 14th, we've got the return of Shaft.
He's a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
That's awesome.
But, dude, tagline for this movie, hold on. We'll throw it up big here. Best tagline for a movie I've seen in a while.
Let's do it.
More Shaft than you can handle. Where are those capos down there, man?
Well, dang, we won't talk about anything with Endgame today, but, Sam Jackson,
Yeah, he don't stop. Yeah. Can't stop. Won't stop.
But hey, not even just that, man. They got, now you got Shaft Jr. coming in, and then you got Grandpa Shaft there, the original Shaft.
The original Shaft,
back.
Multi-generational Shafts coming in here.
Roundtree, Daniel Roundtree or David Roundtree. Yeah, but either way, he was awesome, so it's great to see him back too,
Well, but again, like the Shaft movie that Sam Jackson was in, with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a good movie. Like, it was a little hokey as far as a cop movie goes, but super fun. Thank you, Ori, for those kappas down there. I love the rainbow kappa, too. Nice. But one of my favorite things of all time was he's talking to a local, like, gangbanger drug dealer guy. and the guy's talking to him, and he has like a knife in his hand, and he pokes Shaft in the chest, and he's like, hey man, you can't do nothing to me. And he grabs him, arrests him and everything like that. They go back, the captain's yelling at him like, you arrested him for no reason. And he's like, bro, he assaulted me. And he's like, oh, so he did something to like threaten you? And he's like, I swear, Captain, I feared for my life. And he says it just like that, like, so like, I feared for my life, like, so BS, but it's like,
I think even once people started seeing Sam Jackson like being like Pulp Fiction, so it's like, man, that guy should play Shaft. Like, it was just one of those things. It's probably like in a Wizard magazine or something like that.
Yeah, considering Wizard magazine was like, yo, dude, you should play Nick Fury in a movie. Wizard was onto some shit back in the day.
There you go, man. Patrick Stewart was always nailed as Professor X.
Professor X, absolutely, dude.
So now we're going to jump a week later into June 21st.
Yep, we're going to bring on the waterworks because Toy Story 4 is coming to bust your heart out one more time, man.
Well, if you didn't get enough of Toy Story in the latest Kingdom Hearts 3, like you said, there's a new film, the 4th entry being added. Now, one thing, I definitely watched these with the kids, and I thought like the 3rd one kind of did a great job like bookending it. So like I'm almost kind of not sure where this is going to go.
Yeah, where does it go from here?
Exactly.
So we'll have to see, because I haven't even seen a trailer for this yet. Is there a trailer for this?
There is. Well, the one that I saw like kind of just had them like it was showing off the characters.
So it's more like a teaser.
Yeah,
like show it for a second.
I would think by now there's probably something official out there, but I haven't seen it as either.
Okay.
So we'll have to see what does the Legion think. Are you guys excited about Toy Story 4? It's okay. We know there's a lot of Disney fans out there. I definitely enjoy Disney, but it's just the first Toy Story. I remember watching that as a kid and being like, damn, that was like it was the first real CGI filmed like at that level. So.
Yeah, very cool. Plus, really hot actors at the time. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
And they're all back for
the
this
lead
one.
Roles. Yeah, no, they've done a lot of great stuff with the franchise. I'm excited to see what they continue to do. I'm excited to see Carmilla hanging out with us in the chat down there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aurelia, for that shout out as well. Guys, definitely go check out Carmilla out there. Rocking some Hades last time I seen her, but also rocking some very awesome VR stuff on occasion. So definitely someone you want to check out. Hanging out over there on the UK, so if you're ever up with some late nights or early mornings, you can definitely get some primetime action out of Carmilla down there.
And definitely rocking out some awesome guesses last week in the Name That Game.
Yes.
Got herself some points. So
we've got another round of that coming up soon, Carmilla. So we hope you're ready. Senior Bowl did add in a lot more modern games. We just had a PlayStation game, Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story just popped by.
But the next one,
cool.
It's going to be a little tough, but stick around. Check it out. But hey, want to talk about June 21st is busy because the toys are back in town. Because guess who else is coming?
Yeah, Child's Play coming June 21st, man. And I love that they have a poster that kind of looks like he killed Woody.
Don't with the Chuck.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, we get one.
Oh, I can do it?
You can do it.
Don't fuck with the Chuck. I know Mr. Fusion's going to go crazy right there. He's like, yeah. Well, you know what's funny is when they first announced this, like just like you said, like the remakes, they're just coming, there's I wasn't excited about it. I was like, it's Chucky, But the
it's
more
a remake, goddamn.
But the more it's almost turning into more of a reimagining because like Chucky's no longer controlled by voodoo. He's actually like AI, and he's made by a company like Apple. Where like he's in like every like
so he's more like the last Mimsy than Chucky.
Yes.
Dude, if anybody gets that reference, that's hilarious. I'm sure you guys don't because that movie was terrible, but it's really funny. Trust me.
Well, and I think that's where they're going to incorporate a lot more of the kills. Like like he can like tap into your like air conditioner and stuff.
Nice.
And this company even makes cars, so stuff like that. But probably one of the coolest things that just got announced about a month ago is that Mark Hamill will be voicing Chucky.
That's pretty dope.
And he only said a couple lines in the most recent trailer, but it's very reminiscent to Brad Dourif's interpretation, which, I know it's like, well, hey, we wanted something different, but at the same time, they want to keep a little bit of that, what people know. So we'll have to see where it goes. But I know you had some cool stuff to share about Child's Play.
Yeah, I have to say I've never been a huge horror movie fan. Chucky was never one of my super favorites. But I love the campaign that they've been putting on because just over the weekend, they released this image for Mother's Day as like, hey, don't forget about Mom. Chucky didn't. I was like, damn, dude, that's pretty cool. But apparently they've been doing this campaign for the majority of the spring, also reaching back to Easter, where they released this promo of Chucky kind of beheading a rabbit. Hopefully not the Easter Bunny. I don't know, but pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool little graphics they've been putting out.
Well, I was going to say, I know in the trailer they utilized that old 70s song, "Let Me Tell You About My Best Friend," and they kind of have that, kind of thing going where it might even also be that even though Chucky's AI, the whole thing is that he thinks he should be the only one who is Andy's friend.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the whole thing where now he's not trying to take over Andy. He's protecting him, but Andy doesn't want this. He wants his mom around. And
but apparently the good thing, though, is that with the AI version of Chucky, if you just shout Andy's coming, he falls down. Like pretends to be a toy again.
There you go. Yeah, no, that would be pretty funny. Then they could really tie it in there,
No doubt, man. But it looks like they're having a lot of fun with the movie, so it might actually be pretty cool. It might be something I definitely check out, guys. So we definitely wanted to put it in your ear. We know there's a lot of horror fans out there.
Oh, yeah. People are definitely throwing down the Mark Hamill best Joker of all time. Absolutely. Once again, that's why we're so excited that he's voicing Chucky, because it's a voice actor thing. So we'll have to see how it all turns out. So, but hey, it's not the last toy we're going to talk about in June, right?
No doubt. We got one more coming out June 26th, talking about Annabella Comes Home.
Man, it's like This is all part of that Conjuring universe. Like there's like 8 films that have been released, just that La Llorona and The Nun and the Conjuring films and these Annabelle films. This is the 3rd one. Like, I mean, I know back in the day people just made horror movies because they made money and they were cheap. And I'm sure that these aren't the most like,
they're not breaking the budget.
And I'm sure people are just going to see them because it's a creepy doll and stuff. But I've never really latched on to these,
it surprises me because I know you actually went to an exhibit down in Key West that featured a real life haunted doll. And you told me while you were there that it literally broke your camera, killed your phone battery, like did all this weird shit while you were
turned off the lights on me. I mean, we're not, we'll around Halloween or something, I'll have to tell that whole tale. But that's Robert the doll, which Annabelle is an actual doll that that was intercepted by the Warrens in real life. These are, I mean, the stories that they tell
based on true stories.
Exactly. But Annabelle's like up in the up in the Northeast, but here in Florida, we have Robert the Doll in Key West. So it is interesting. If they did a Robert the Doll movie, I'd like that. But it's just like these are so far removed from what the original Annabelle is like a Raggedy Ann doll, and this thing just looks like this creepy ass thing that nobody would want.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd hit it with a hammer.
Little Susie, I bought you this doll that was designed to resemble pants shitting terror.
Hey, if they go the Godzilla route, though, it'll be Chucky versus Annabelle.
Hey man, I'd watch that.
Hey, why not, right? But hey, I know there's a lot of fans out there, but it's just like they've made so many of them so quick. I think they're really kind of saturating it. So
yeah, but that's the way it goes, man. Every time Hollywood gets wind that something's working, they just start throwing a million of that same type of movie out there.
How many of those paranormal activities were there before they were like, okay, this isn't...
Yeah, seriously.
Really,
and not just continuations or remakes of the same movie, but different studios trying to make a competing version of it. So Le Choufleur out there, what is up? Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I'm sure I said your name wrong again for the 1,000th time, but I'm gonna throw you some love either way.
But by all means, Legion of Love, you let us know. You excited about Chucky? You excited about Toy Story? And these are all toys, they're all, or dolls, dolls and stuff. So it's just kind of interesting,
Floor, we are gonna have some Game of Thrones spoilers, but we're gonna let you know ahead of time that the spoilers are coming, and there will be no visuals. So if you just want to mute us while we're talking about it and then jump right in as soon as a visual comes up for something else, you can do that. That's kind of what we're thinking of doing, because we are going to be talking about some Game of Thrones a little bit and getting right into what happened last night.
Yeah, but very much we'll let you guys know. We won't drop any hints or anything before that. We try to keep it very, like we know how that is.
Yes.
It's just so much stuff went down last night that we can't not talk about it later. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And to that end, also next week we'll be having an Avengers Endgame review and discussion. So if you've seen that, join us next week, and that will be spoiler laden. If you haven't seen it yet, that may be one where you guys are going to have to skip entirely or watch it another time, catch the VOD or something. But we definitely want to get it out there for all the people who've been asking us to please share our thoughts on Endgame, which has been a lot more people than we thought. So, okay, just let me know. I will. There'd be we're going to play like a Game of Thrones video.
Yeah.
And when we come back from the video, it'll definitely be all Game of Thrones talk. So we'll definitely let you guys know that spoilers are coming.
But hey, now that we're done with June, it's time for something else to arrive real quick, man. What is it?
It's not quite winter, but it's the Name That Game tournament. You ain't going to have a mod next week, Aurelia says. That's okay. That's okay. We don't want to spoil it for you either. We don't want to spoil it for anyone, but a lot of people have honestly asked if we
by
if
popular
we'll talk about
demand,
it. So.
they give the people what they give.
Carmilla says, or you could go watch it, Ori.
All
right, let's see. What did J-Dog say here? Did you know there is a Florida man where if you go to Google and put in Florida man and your birth... Hey, J-Dog, man, you're killing us, dude. That is definitely that's something we're going to do on the show live one day. So, yes, very cool, very true. We actually have a PoDunk news story about a Florida man where we were going to talk about that exact same thing. So that's funny. Great minds think alike. Look at that.
That's Professor X over there, J-Dog.
But if you guys are ready, Name That Game tournament coming up with its round 3 of the night so far. We're going to show up a single still image of a video game, be the first, second, or third person to correctly guess the title of the game, and you will earn points towards first, second, and third place that are going to be winning prizes at the end of May. So get on your keyboards, get your typing fingers ready, get your thumbs working, because it's time to name that game.
Hit it. Here it comes. It's getting big for you guys.
All right, so check this one out. A little better graphics than we're used to seeing here on the old Name That Game tournament, ain't it?
I told you I was going to bring something a little more recent. I mean, we're still talking probably 12 years ago for this. Can you believe it's been that long?
Maybe it was a while ago.
It was. Now,
so many pixels.
Now, the funny thing about this, we could just tell a little story. I owned this game.
Yes.
And El Bandito came over and I was playing it. And of course I was like, oh man, let me turn it off. And he's like, no, man. Like, play for a little bit. I want to watch.
Let me check it out.
Yeah.
See what you got.
So I think you watched me for about 3 hours go through this game, and there's one scene in this game that even on lists today is listed as one of the scariest scenes in a video game. Yeah. And like, we're sitting there in the dark, and this isn't during the day. I got all the lights off. I like to really immerse myself in these games. So, but it was an awesome one. You could practically almost pick up anything and beat these things with it. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away.
Go ahead, Chimera. If you know it, throw it.
Oh, man, they're still thinking. But yeah, go ahead and throw it down.
Yeah. So tell them about the scene. That's the scariest scene ever.
So the scene itself is you're running around and you're inside a department store. And, of course, hey, in every department store, there's got to be some mannequins wearing some clothing and stuff like that. Well, in this particular scene, you're walking amongst a bunch of mannequins, and suddenly the lights go off. And then they come back on. Now, it's not like a cutscene or anything. You're actually controlling the characters, but now suddenly, like, the mannequins are all moved around there in front of you. And it does this like 2 or 3 times throughout the level. And like you said, it's pants crapping terror.
Because it's a little bit scary at first when they're just moving around. But there's actually one instance where your little flashlight goes out. And it comes back on, and they're literally circled around you in like droves. And then the thing clicks off again, and boof, now they're all in different places super far away. So really, really creepy, man. And he was like, dude, do you want to borrow this game? And I was like, nah.
Now, one thing I loved about it, those game designers knew what they were doing, because at one point when you walk by one set of mannequins, like one of the bad guys is actually disguised as one. And if you have the surround sound, you could hear him getting down off the platform, but then you turn around and then suddenly this dude's coming at you, like right here in this photo. But so far, has anybody got it?
It doesn't look like it. Chimera wants to know. It's got something to do with crows in the game, I think. Do you remember any crows in this game?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, this definitely predates like Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
But I don't want to say, it had a lot of that detective.
This is an original Xbox game, right? Or no,
360.
It's a 360.
360,
okay.
But it was within that first year that it was released.
Yeah.
But it has like a detective mode where you use like different equipment to try to figure stuff out.
Yeah, because you had to do little puzzles, electronic puzzles and things like that. So, all right, guys, I'll tell you, if you're a dead man walking out there in chat, we might have to pass on this one.
Oh man, I mean, I knew this one was going to be a little tough as well, but I knew it was a newer one.
It's an obscure horror game now, so it's a little bit tough. Boom! Carmilla got it. Did you like my hint right there that I threw out at you?
What did you throw down there?
When I said I was like your dead man walking, condemned. I don't know if that's what gave it away for her or not. I'm not sure.
Got it.
Yep, she got. And again, the minute the first person did it, I'm like, yeah, that's it. So everyone can just copy that answer. But
that's all good. We sat on that one for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome.
Got
because,
it. Good job.
Yeah. No. That
was the giveaway. Cool.
Go ahead and throw up the cover
banner for it. Here.
I mean, even looking at this cover, I mean, this looks like something off of like Saw or something like that. And it's funny.
Totally metal.
It's pretty metal, yeah. But yeah, the whole condemned criminal origins, like the whole criminal origins part, like we said, it's more like CSI kind of stuff. But yeah, it's totally like in that vein of like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. But you're fighting like I'm pretty sure like the guys are like drugged out on something. So you're fighting humans. You're not fighting like beasts or anything. But sometimes that's even more scary, you know?
No doubt, man. People are weird, bro.
Well, I see Chow down there says that they've never even heard of this game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know if it's cross-platform, but if you want something that will kind of scare the pants off you, definitely check it out. I don't know how it holds up the test of time, but it was pretty creepy when we played it about 12 years ago.
Yeah, it was very scary. So I have to say, I think the gameplay mechanics and style is probably a little rugged nowadays, but I think the story's good. Yeah, it's a good story.
And I think it did have a sequel. I never played it, but yeah, it was neat that you could literally pick up almost anything. Like we're talking even like lockers and hit these guys, and of course things would break, so you had to like. And you did have guns too, but they were few and far between. You're beating people down. Very melee-ish game, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree with Carmilla. I know Demo. He was in here a little earlier. I think he's still hanging around. He's not a super big fan of horror games either, and I love what he did for his charity that he's running right now. That he made it a goal that he would play a scary game on stream. And I think if we ever do something like that, we're gonna have to do that because like. Sure. Back when we did this show on just audio, I played Resident Evil 7, the demo.
Yes.
And since it was only audio, we had all the lights off in here, and Bull was just sitting in the dark where I couldn't see him. And I'm over there sitting playing the game, and I'm just like, and I have these like 7.1 Dolby, or Dolby headset surround sound. So I'm just like, I hated it. I never played that game. I just played this stupid demo. It just scared the crap out of me.
Once again, also another great horror game, Resident Evil 7. Same thing, where it's like when you're in that first-person view and you can't just see what's behind you, and you turn around and suddenly there's some beastie coming at you or something. Like, it take a few years off your life. But hey, man, we rocked out some movies, but we still have 2 more months to talk about of movies.
We do.
Plus some more Name That Game, but what's the time for right now?
It's time right now for some amazing PoDunk news. Of course, let all you beautiful people out there know what's going on in this crazy, wacky world, and we have some awesome stories for you that you guys are going to love. This is going to be a total blast. Let's do it.
Do it.
PoDunk News.
We can't hear it. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the sound, but we can't hear that sound. So it's so weird to us.
We're gonna have to figure out what the Microsoft did there.
Yeah.
But like El Bandito was saying, this is our segment where we tell you guys about some wild, crazy stories that are going on out there. We got a couple sad stories, but we also have some exciting stories also when it comes to gaming and some cool headlines. So we're gonna go ahead and get started in just a second here. But, this is going to be pretty cool. Here we go.
Yes, absolutely. Tonight we're starting off with a pretty fun story right here. In our top stories tonight, we're going to let you guys know about LaCroix's newest flavor. That's right. Last Friday, LaCroix Sparkling Water posted a 15-second animation of a solid pink can with its signature bright green and pink accents, saying, "Hi, something new is coming, 5/13/19," it wrote. "Share your best guess below." And of course, the Twitterverse went crazy, posting some pretty amazing guesses as to what they thought the name and flavor of the newest LaCroix just might be. Now, we're unsure whether or not this is a campaign of kind of pure fun and excitement, or if it's to help their slumping sales after some unsavory comments that they had made. But either way, we thought it was a cool and fun little bit of promotion that we'd like to participate in by sharing with you guys our top guesses for what the new flavor is, and to let you guys just put in chat what your guesses are for the new pink flavored LaCroix. So we're going to start off, but I've never been more excited in my life. Aurelia, so funny. LaCroix. Also, it's LaCroix. What? What? Am I saying it wrong? Not LaCroix. LaCroix. Oh, I gotcha. Well, no, wait, because it's French, right? LaCroix? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's not a Y. I know it's an IX, but I don't know how to pronounce that good. I'm sorry, Fleur. I'm terrible at that sort of thing, but I'm trying. If it's La Croix? La Croix? Is that what it is? Okay, that's interesting. Either way, our guesses for what we think a pink flavor that they would be coming out with are the taste of strawberries past.
We always like strawberries.
Yes, and LaCroix generally tastes like a fruit that died. It's like the ghost of what the taste of fruit used to be.
Unless you're drinking it with some honey on the pizza, then it's tolerable.
Then it's tolerable. Yes, absolutely. All right, you want to take this next one?
Oh yeah, ham bouquet.
Well, let's try to pronounce it all Frenchy now. The ham bouquet, much like a fine wine would have a luscious bouquet as just sort of a little hint of flavor. So a little hint of ham, possibly. You know.
What's next?
Next up, classic Pepto Pink, baby. Of course, tasting like Pepto-Bismol, or the slight aftertaste of Pepto-Bismol. Maybe.
Or my favorite, Frankenberry.
Frankenberry, like the old classic pink cereal, right?
Oh, yeah, man, definitely.
So those are our guesses, guys. Feel free to put in the comments what you guys think this awesome pink concoction just may be.
You know it, man. Well, we'll definitely have to try some too. Now, is it just going to get revealed?
It was supposed to get revealed today. I was watching their Twitter and stuff all day, and I never saw the reveal for it. So I don't know if they're just joking around or what's going on. But at the time of us airing, I have yet to see what the actual new flavor is.
Well, we're gonna have to follow up with that if it gets released, and we'll have to try a can right here on air. And
we will. We absolutely will.
All right, so our next story is a little sad.
Oh, hold on. We don't got a next story yet.
Oh, we're not there yet?
No, because if you guys aren't familiar with what the new flavor is, just like we're not, we have a different recommendation for a la beverage that just may tickle your fancy a bit more, which is, of course, La Ori, right? Where we thought we'd take a minute to shout out the charity that she's been rocking over with Democracy this month. As every month, Aurelia likes to support different charities. She chose this month to help support Democracy's charity, which is for To Write Love on Her Arms, which is a fantastic charity celebrating the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month and promoting awareness for suicide, depression, anxiety, addiction, all sorts of mental health issues. So if you guys want to check out Aurelia, over the weekend, she streams usually Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and you can check out her streams where she'll be repping this charity, Democracy. Thank you for the shout out there. Make sure to shout yourself out as well. Democracy also is, he's the forerunner of the charity, and he'll be streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sunday nights. So check out both of these amazing streamers. Show them some love. Show this charity some love, and keep in mind that awareness is what they're promoting out there. So awareness doesn't mean you have to donate money to the charity. If you can, that's great. But spreading or sharing their streams and their channels or participating in them is helping spread awareness. The more people we get in there, the more eyes we get on the prize, and more people can see the charity and the foundation that they're working with To Write Love on Her Arms, and will help spread awareness for mental health, which is a growing problem throughout the entire world, and something that at a time when it's more globally recognized than ever is still something that's very difficult for a lot of people to talk about, and we want to let them know that it's okay. Right? So get out there, spread some love for Demo and Aurelia out there, and spread some love To Write Love on Her Arms.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I was not referring to that story. That's a very happy story that we want you guys to be a part of. But the next story that we are going to talk about is definitely a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, it's definitely a downer. Former WCW Lucha Libre star Silver King has passed away. He collapsed in the ring during a match in London. And the WCW was always known for bringing in a lot of the lucha libre stars and really getting them their first exposure on broadcast network. I mean, it was on Turner Broadcasting, so that was in tons of homes. And also Silver King was known as the villain Ramses in the 2005 comedy Nacho Libre.
Yes.
So
Nacho!
even though you might not know Silver King, you just may, from that movie if you checked it out. So definitely rest in peace, Silver King. Thank you for all you did for the wrestling world.
Absolutely. We'll throw some love out there for Silver King.
But we got another story coming at you now. Definitely got the sad story passing along. What are we talking about now, man?
Yes, and thank you, J-Dog, for all those emotes out there heading out to Aurelia and Democracy. They're both doing a fantastic job with the charity stuff. And, I appreciate that, so guys, get out there and check the two of them out. But Skyrim Mordhau Edition coming out, guys. The hacking and slashing through Skyrim's many shaped foes just got a bit juicier with a mod that has overhauled its combat system in pursuit of a more balanced, realistic representation of melee action, right? On Guard, right, by Tutoro, offers fresh and complex takes on combat with completely reconstructed fighting styles depending on weapons of choice, such as slashing with katanas and impaling with other weapons. So staggering when struck effects are also one of the most interesting aspects of the new mod. So definitely something to check out if you're a Skyrim fan and you're looking to get in on a little bit of that cool action that's going down with Mordhau, and it's very, specific rules for combat. This mod might integrate the two in a fun sort of way for you.
Well, definitely, man. Like we said, Skyrim, they want to get just about everywhere. But yeah, just watching this game, I know last week when we rated Klops, he was playing it. Just seeing it, it's like, damn, like that looks like a real wild game. So I'm definitely gonna have to check it out.
Absolutely, guys. All right, next up, talking about some other games, getting some interesting, cool mods. I scream, you scream, for Scream.
You know it, man. Dead by Daylight has revealed its next killer. If you're not familiar with Dead by Daylight, it's a game that you get to go and play with all your friends and try to survive as another player who's playing the killer hunts you down. But you do have a chance to escape. But they're always out there and they're always looking. Well, Ghostface from the Scream franchise is the newest one that will be added sometime in the near future. He'll be joining the likes of Freddy, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jigsaw or Pigman from Saw. Yeah. But one thing to keep with the spirit of the character of Ghostface, I guess if they get a full kill, there's 4 survivors in the game as you play. If he kills everybody in the game, he actually takes a selfie with the last victim to kind of keep with that whole, do you like scary movies?
Absolutely, man. Now I have to say he seems like an interesting character because, again, probably the least powered of any of the killers we've seen there. So it'll be interesting to dive into this and see what actual abilities they're giving him.
Absolutely, man. And having Scream was kind of built on the nostalgia of those old horror movies. So, I mean, while themselves, the Ghostface is definitely a character that you see running around at Halloween, I definitely know why they added him. But you're right. It's typically just another human being in there. It's not like some super powered monster like Freddy or I guess even Jigsaw is just a guy, or it could be multiple people. So
yeah, but at least like he's setting up a bunch of stuff.
Yes, yes. So. Are we going to call the other survivor? Tell me about your favorite scary one.
Yeah.
All I know is it's going to be like, that's what I know we'll be doing.
No doubt, man. Ghostface should be the fastest killer speed-wise, but trips over literally everything. See, now I liked what Senior Bull was saying, that in my mind there should be 2 of them.
Oh, that would be actually kind of cool.
Yeah, like even if one's just like a phantom or an AI controlled thing, because like that was the whole thing about the first movie was it was really 2 of them, and that's how they could always have an alibi for each other.
You pull the mask off one, it's just like a regular guy. Like, oh! No, definitely a lot of things. If we were able to design that, we'd be putting all kind of crazy...
Oh, it'd be terrible and unbalanced and wouldn't work at all.
These guys...
Speaking of terrible, unbalanced, and doesn't work at all, Fallout 76, right, had a new update last Thursday, May 9th, and the update added a number of things to the game, including backpacks and a new set of mini quests inspired by the great outdoors. The most anticipated new piece of content, though, was player vending machines, right? So this was like, while you're out and about, you could leave this at your settlement and put items in the vending machine, and people could come by, spend their caps, and buy things out of it. So you can sell your wares while you're not even interacting with other players or off doing something else, right?
That's kind of cool.
But there's a catch.
Okay.
Every sale comes with a 10% tax, right? So if you sell something for 10 caps, 1 cap's going to get taken away right off the top and just given to the multiverse. It's just disappeared now, you know? So it says you will receive a notification when a player buys one of your items. 90% of the sale price asked will be added to your cap balance, right? Well, the 10% fee has been designed to help maintain the health of the game's economy and mitigate inflation, right? So basically, there are people who've amassed so much money in the game that they're throwing off the balance. Okay. So there'll be like one player who comes in, he has tons of money, and he's reached like the cap limit, but then other players have like no money, so this guy wants to just sell everything for 1,000 caps, and nobody can buy anything.
Gotcha.
But this guy never spends any caps, so Bethesda's thinking is like, oh, if we tax him for stuff, it'll help just get rid of some of his caps. But so far, no one seems to think this is a good idea, and most reports are saying that it is actually not calculating this tax correctly, and oftentimes taxing people 40 to 60% of what they're actually selling.
Oh, man.
So, you know,
Bethesda.
At it again. We love you, Bethesda.
Hey, can you break into the vending
machines? I don't know, man. Fleur, thank you so much. Rewatching Game of Thrones with some friends halfway through season 4. Joffrey's wedding is coming up. Definitely something you don't want to miss out on watching twice. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in and hanging with us for a little while. We really appreciate it. All right, so next up, we got a little bit of local love action. We haven't had any local love in a while, but we're pretty excited to hear about this new restaurant design that popped up in our backyard here in Orlando. So it turns out Olive Garden is debuting a new looking restaurant this week in Orlando, right? It's at Orlando Fashion Square Mall on Colonial Drive and features wood floors and trim, and exposed brick asymmetrical angles and funky colors, which is a big change from even the restaurant's latest redesigns, right? So outside it features a mix of old world stone, metal trim, and soaring glass windows. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty damn impressive Olive Garden.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it looks very nice.
So this is a little shot of the inside right there. Again, really, really very different than any Olive Garden I've ever been in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Now, Olive Garden is owned by Orlando-based Darden Restaurants, right? And this new restaurant is Olive Garden's latest prototype, the first and only of its kind so far.
Dang. Yeah. So like you said, they're definitely trying to test it out. Orlando's probably a good launch pad for that. Lots of different people coming in. You know, definitely. I don't know if, like, you know, we have such access to Olive Garden. Usually when we go to Orlando, we'll go someplace else, you know. But, I mean, hey, you know, if they're trying to make it a little, you know, a little more, you know, nicer, then
it's so fancy.
Yeah, fancy it
up. They Frasiered it up a little bit back there, you know. Yeah. Bro, I could F up some Olive Garden right now. Aurelia, no joke, dude. That's why I put this story in there. Like, I saw it, I'm just like, yes, Olive Garden. I love it, man. What's your guys' favorite stuff at Olive Garden? Throw it down there in the chat and let me know what your favorite dish is. Because I can tell you guys right now, they have a stuffed chicken marsala that just kills me. It just kills me. I absolutely love it. I love getting that with some of the little stuffed mushrooms that they have. The pair of those together, I'm in heaven, man. What do you think, Senior Boy?
I got to go with the zuppa Toscana. You know me, I love my soups.
Yeah, you're a big soup guy.
You know, but yeah, I love that sausage and potato soup, man. Dipping some of those breadsticks in there. Definitely not something when you're trying to lose some pounds, but definitely, you know, something when you're like, yeah, I could put away some food. Plus, it's like endless, you know, bowls of it, so I can eat like 5 of those damn things.
No doubt. Samio, have a good night. Thank you again so much for that sub. Guys, make sure you check out Samio if you want to give him another shout-out, Aurelia. He's a fantastic musician. You can catch him doing live performances on his stream, utilizing Rocksmith sometimes, just freestyling out there, and he also plays some other games. He's a fantastic streamer and a super good dude, guys. Make sure you go check him out. Life Reboot says his favorite thing at Olive Garden is the famous
Dave's?
The famous Dave's next to it.
That's awesome.
Nice, man. J-Dog coming in hot with that fettuccine Alfredo. Very nice. Good picks right there. I'd say my number 2 choice is probably the shrimp. What is it? Carbonara.
Oh, that's definitely a good meal.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
like
you
crack
can't
an egg right on top.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
can't go wrong with like the chicken marsala, like you said, or chicken parmesan. Those are usually pretty
classics.
good.
I love how they have that like tour of Italy where you get 3 different. We're going down the rabbit hole here on pasta, man. You can't say no to some good pasta. Quad God, what's your favorite thing at Olive Garden? I know you seem like a fitness nut with a name like Quad God, but still, you had to have messed up some Olive Garden at one point.
They got salad.
She's
there.
like my favorite thing at Olive Garden: rum and Coke.
Well, hey, I think our next thing we're gonna be talking about some place that usually likes to deal with some food, right? Is it time?
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Draft of Thrones. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, not lately. I don't think we've been seeing too much food eating, but man, like earlier on, man, those guys were always eating and drinking.
Let's do. I do not remember where this is. I think here. Let's try it.
Do it. Boom.
Nope, that's not it. This is not the right one.
Death and movies, death and movies. Who will die next? Who will die next? Who will die next? Horns for nudity and the violence with his schemes and establish power. Who will rule the Iron Throne? Find out next week. Find out next week. Never this week. Always next week. PoDunk News.
All right, Aur3llia, thank you so much for the spoilers ahead down there. Yes, absolutely. If you haven't seen last night's Game of Thrones and you don't want it to get spoiled for you, feel free to go ahead and mute the video right now. Hang out for just a few minutes. When we pull the next slide up, we'll be done with Game of Thrones, and we will not mention it again. No more spoilers after that. But we do have a few minutes here of spoilers, including the breakdown of our Draft of Thrones and letting people know who the champs are this week. So what do we got, Senior Bull?
All right. Well, I'm still currently King of the Realms now. I'm sitting strong up on the top of the mountain with 950 points gathered this season. Now, honestly, this last episode for me wasn't really that great of.
Well, you got what, like 200 points or so?
70 only.
70?
Actually.
Okay.
One of my main characters did die, and like we said, okay, we spoilers are out there.
Yep.
Jamie
DJ Napalm spoilers for Game of Thrones. I see you just show up. Last night's episode of Game of Thrones. We're about to spoil it, bro.
So definitely one of my biggest character losses last night was Jaime Lannister.
Yes.
He's got me a lot of points so far throughout the season, and I did get a memorable death in there, so definitely got some. But my other big character that's still running around is Arya. She's definitely still there, but honestly, a lot of my characters have been killed off. So the fact that I'm staying on the top of the mountain, I don't know how long that's going to stay because, man, that's so three-eyed Raven's creeping up.
Oh man,
with 885 points.
Wowzers.
So, I mean, we're talking just a mere 75 points there that he could take, the Iron Throne from me. And I know one of the characters he has is Daenerys, which you want to talk about someone that scored a lot of points last night.
Yeah. She definitely got a couple of big points. DJ Napalm, I'm glad. I just wanted to give you the heads up, man. And then who's coming in third?
Third is the White Wolf.
All right.
Now, definitely that's Euron and a couple other characters there. But that particular player has. But yeah, it's kind of just going there. One player I got to mention that's kind of got bumped down to the end of the list is Mr. Fusion. I mean, he was riding strong there, like in that third and fourth place for quite a bit, man. But just even though he had the Hound.
Yes.
Which, like we said, we're going to do a little spoiler here.
Yes. We finally got the Clegane Bowl. It happened.
Got it.
The Hound and the Mountain, the brothers who battled in the first episode, came together in the second to the last episode to finally battle it out. Of course, the Mountain being turned into a zombie version of himself at this point, nigh invulnerable, and the Hound basically going into the battle with literally no armor on.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, F it. I don't care. I know I'm dying, but I will take this son bitch with me.
Taking him down with him, And yeah, honestly, that was probably my favorite scene of the whole episode. It was like intertangled with other scenes, so it wasn't just a straight shot, but still very cool on how they went out. And
I would agree. The whole shot from the staircase where you could overlook King's Landing that was burning and stuff like that was great. It really fulfilled the whole thing of the Hound dying in fire, but also killing the mountain and stuff like that. But the only problem I had with it was that on a staircase, their height constantly changes. You know, where part of the cool thing about the fight is that the mountain is so much larger than the Hound, who's a big dude to begin with. You know, but being on a staircase didn't highlight that in any way, and I thought that was a very weird choice for that particular scene, just in my opinion. But other than that, you know,
we gotta talk about the elephant in the room.
Like Daenerys. Yeah, I was gonna say the heavy hitter, the person scoring the most points for this past week was That's So Three-Eyed Raven, who had Daenerys, and Daenerys just for whatever reason, for like no reason, deciding to literally burn all of King's Landing to the ground, including the Red Keep, just destroying it, killing countless tens of thousands of innocent civilians, if not more. I mean, just literally using the dragon to torch people in the streets, set off a lot of the dragon's fire explosions that had been laying dormant since her father Ares had set them up, you know, decades ago.
So even if her flames weren't hitting you, those were ricocheting and blowing up other things. And
so the producers decided to take a lot of time having Arya run through the city herself, because she was a character that we cared about, and seeing her in mortal danger would weigh more to us than just random civilians. But again, it's like we haven't even been in King's Landing for like a season and a half at the very least. You know, we know Arya's not going to die in this, you know, but the fact that Arya was coming with the Hound to kill Cersei. Cersei and the Mountain are together, right? At the last minute, the Hound is like, Arya, don't come with me. This is a revenge thing, and, you know, you'll just end up like me, dying, and I'm going to go up here and die. And then she's like, all right, bro, this is literally what my life has been around about for 6 years, but you're probably right. I should just bail, even though I just rode all the way the fuck down here with the express point to kill Cersei, who's literally in the next room just kind of standing around, you know? So that blew my mind. Like, I was like, why is that happening? Why are they doing this? And it is just totally, totally, totally weird. And I got to take 1 second to say, look at that. Hey! Pep's coming into the chat here to hang out with us down there. Thank you so much for coming by. Aurelia's down there. Está aquí para ayudar a traducir para nosotros. Aurelia is. So there you go. But thank you for coming by, man. Is that emote for Game of Thrones that you can't believe about Daenerys burning everything to hell? Because, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
You know, like you said, that scene definitely unexpected, but like you said, just kind of leaves you puzzled. And why? And then, you know,
why would she do that?
And then
why would we do that?
Why would we do that? You know, and the like you said, definitely the characters of Jon, Arya, Tyrion. I don't think she could say anything that will make this justified. You know, I mean, we still got one more episode, 80 minutes. One more time that we're going to get to play the Draft of Thrones theme next week. But, you know, like we said, I mean, that was probably the most surprising. Also, being that, like you said, Arya didn't get to actually run Cersei through, but did meet, Cersei did ultimately meet her demise as the keep literally fell, which she said numerous times during the episode that it wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
It ended up falling right on her damn head.
Fell on her damn head, which, again, was really weird because of the... You know, we had so much been kind of sucked into this prophecy from the book of Jaime killing her and stuff like that. So it was kind of a weird letdown that didn't happen. Ambush Joe, thank you so much for Ambush in the chat down there, because the writers are dummies. Dude, no joke. I have no idea what they're doing at this point. It seems like they're taking another 2 seasons worth of stuff and cramming it into one episode. And I'll be honest, I've never really liked Daenerys. Like, she seems a little too overbearing for me, a little too sure of herself to really be a good leader. But I never wanted her to see her go this route of just instantly being like, oh, they killed Missandei. Now I hate everything and I'm going to burn your city to the ground. You know, and I get that like a lot of her advisors were kind of going behind her back or had died and things were getting very grave for her. But she still had a lot of people in her life that were there doing good things and were a good influence. So why she would just suddenly be like, I hate this town. I hate all these people. I'm just going to burn them to the ground. Like, she had no beef with the people of King's Landing. Like, I totally get killing the entire Iron Fleet. Makes sense. I even kind of get totally firebombing the Red Keep. Cersei's in there. Melt the thing to the damn ground. Hell yes. But why would you just run up and down the streets where it's literally a 1,000,000-man city and just start ripping apart
women,
up and down,
children, innocent people, just murdering.
Totally crazy.
Now, I'm not trying to be one of those guys. I'm not trying to be talking about the damn novelizations. But I do remember, I believe in the last novel that was released, she's sitting there talking to Sir Barristan, because he was part of her council at one point, and he said, "What about the people of King's Landing? They need to be liberated too. You're spending all these times with these slaves, And she says, "I don't care about the people of King's Landing." She said, "They accepted the usurper Robert, so pretty much they said, to hell with my family. So I'm going to say to hell with them." So. I hope they don't use that in the next episode, because it's like, well, that's not enough.
Yeah, it's a little too late. Quad God's heading out. See you soon. Have a great night. I'll catch you streaming soon, I'm sure. Thank you, Aurelia, for that shout out. But yeah, I agree with you. Had they kind of put a little bit more in place, even in the background, even just subtleties in sort of her character of hey, I'm really unhappy with the people of King's Landing. Hey, when I had to flame up the Tarleys, like, the people here were really pissed and gave me a bunch of shit, and I don't like them. There were several instances where they really could have laid the framework for the South being too rebellious to ever control. Yeah. And even when they killed Missandei, like, the people of the town could have jeered or cheered for Missandei's death and really drove home the point that these people didn't care about their ruthlessness of their queen and that they really supported her and things like that. But they didn't show that at all in any sense, and instead just had her turn around and go bonkers for very, very little reason that was given to us, right? But can I tell you? Can I say the thing about? Do it. So, like, the comedian Dane Cook put out, like, the best thing ever, man. And I know a lot of people don't like him, but this tweet killed me. He said, he was like, so Daenerys has all these advisors and close friends that are dying, and she's really sad, and things aren't going well, and her dragon got killed, and she's really upset. And he's like, but she goes to Jon Snow and is like, hey, we still love each other. I'm not just your queen, am I? And he's like, I can't really do this because, like, I found out you're my aunt, and now this is weird, and I don't want to date you anymore. And she's like, okay, so it's just fear then. And Dane Cook's like, dude, like, I bet if she'd have got laid, she probably wouldn't have went out there and torched up a whole city, man. You can't just take one for the team, John,
Maybe they'll have like a what if one day about Game of Thrones. What if this would have happened?
I have no idea.
But what a way for the second to last episode ever of Game of Thrones to kind of end. And we got 80 more minutes to wrap all this stuff up, on Game of Thrones, not on Power.
I know. Hey, try to keep it clean down there, Mr. Fusion. Goddamn. I'm just messing with you, man. But yeah, Jon Snow really surprised me. He didn't seem to do much to kind of stop what was going on. And I know he was caught in a bad situation where his momentary lapses in judgment or trying to consider the situation cost lots of people their lives, but I don't blame him for that. He was in a very, very difficult position. But I am surprised that he didn't step up to the plate a little more, which very much surprised me. But I agree. Carmilla, I agree with your friends. I was actually pretty irritated with the majority of the episode. Aside from the Clegane Bowl, which, again, I didn't like the locale, but the rest of it seemed very fitting. I hated the fact that they intercut that with Arya running through the city. It was really well done in the fact that a lot of their movements mirrored what was going to happen in the next scene. Yeah. So it did have a good flow back and forth, but they just spent like 20 minutes with Arya just running through the city, getting fire blasted, and innocent people getting killed. And it's like, okay, dude, we get it. We get what's happening. This is sad. It's terrible. But, like, there's all of these super important characters, and we have like 100 minutes to spend with them. Can you give us a little more time instead of just now you want to tell us about these random people in King's Landing? So, and I mean, it was a bit of an irritating episode.
Just for anyone who's never really watched the show, King's Landing isn't like the Sodom and Gomorrah place for like these are like regular folks like just kind of getting by, trying to live, like probably eating, bread and stuff like that while Cersei's up there drinking wine, So for them to just get blasted like that was kind of
like they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing to deserve that. That was trash. It's not like they were soldiers from the army. Sure. She's just blasting the women and children, the farmers, just the regular Joe people for
all.
like no reason. Yeah, Dracarys.
I guess that Valimagoulas, all men must die, man. They're sticking to their guns with that. But I think we've said about all we could say this week about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we'll have a pretty big wrap up, I'm sure, next week, and we might just bunk the news and just talk Game of Thrones in the middle of Endgame.
We probably should. But we do got some headlines real quick that we're going to jump through, and then we're going to get back to talking about the other summer movies and also some more Game of Thrones. So we're going to pack a lot into like the next 15, 20 minutes.
yes. And I got us all mixed up in our slides here. Let's try to get back. So
here it comes.
Here's the headlines coming at you. Rapid fire segment of the show where we're just going to read you the headlines of some of the most awesome stuff coming out this week because you probably heard about it already, but it was too cool to not mention. First up, tomorrow releases Rage 2.
Oh, you know it. We saw the big reveal last year at E3, and, Andrew WK, let's get ready to die, singing and stuff. I love that, But, this one's kind of been a little bit of a sleeper, It's kind of sliding in with that release date, but it looks pretty wild, so we might have to check that out real soon.
Yeah, because this had a lot of hype going for a while, and then no hype, and now it's like, it's coming out tomorrow. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
It's almost like Bethesda's scared. They're like, oh, man, that 76 thing, we're just going to leave this right here.
Why'd they do a patch so close to this? What were you guys thinking? Anyways, Chris Evans had a special Endgame reunion this week as he headed back to his hometown of Sadbury, Massachusetts on Saturday to attend his 20-year high school reunion.
Oh, there you go.
He mingled with former Lincoln Sadbury Regional High School classmates and had a really fun time, so it was pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. No, that's always great. Hey, man, like we got to remember, even though these guys are superstars, awesome actors and actresses, they're still real. They're people too, man. They're gonna get out there and go back and revisit their roots.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's a very humbling thing. Of course, that's out there in Boston where he's from. So very cool. Look, Aurelia has a question here. I think it's about Game of Thrones. When Rhaenys disappeared in the first seasons, were you not surprised? Who was Rhaenys? The king?
Rhaenys?
Do you mean the king?
I wonder if she's talking about Syrio. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, it might be Syrio, because he did disappear in the first season. Let me see. I'll Google him real quick to see what's up. See if we can track down who Rhaenys is. Because going back to the first season, whew. I see that's Pep's question, and I really appreciate you getting that to us there. Okay, I see. Yeah. Doot. Oh, it sent me to a page that's all in Spanish. That's nice. Come on, Google, translate this page for me.
Looking at this age for Chris Evans, though, definitely.
It makes you feel bad, right?
I'm kind of like, oh man, my 20-year reunion's probably coming up real soon.
Okay, so the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah, I was just translating. I don't watch Game of Thrones. So yeah, he means the Seven Kingdoms. Was I surprised the Seven Kingdoms disappeared in the first seasons? Yeah. Well, I think you mean that it broke up in the first season and everyone kind of went haywire. Because that's basically what happened, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the game right there. Everything. Pretty much everything that started between the Starks and the Lannisters, which, of course, later we won't get. Like I said, we're kind of out of our spoiler realm, so we don't want to throw out just in case some people are getting caught up. But definitely, that kind of kicked everything off, pretty much to what we've even led to now. It's still things that happened in that first season. They're still feeling their effects now.
No, definitely. But the way everything went so haywire in that first season, especially by the end when they behead Ned Stark, And when they behead Ned Stark, that's really what's separating the North and the South at that point. And everything goes kind of shit up from there because, you know, as the Midlands or the Midvale or whatever they call that, you know, where the Freys are and stuff.
Yeah, the river.
Like, as they start getting betrayed and things are happening, they start splitting off. The Vale starts splitting off, and everything starts getting crazy. No, Aur3llia, thank you so much. I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, so it's difficult, but I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate Pep hanging out with us and asking a question, man. Yeah,
yes.
I hope we answered that appropriately. I hope that answers up. Valentina, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for that shout out. You literally just missed us talking about Olive Garden. I'll have to clip it for you and send it to you later.
So what's up next here in the headlines?
All right, next up on the headlines here, we've got Devil May Be Bananas.
Ooh, what's going on here?
So Devil May Cry 5 now has a DLC that gives Nero a banana arm as 2019 continues to descend into nonsense.
Is this
literally the headline? I loved it.
Is this some kind of like, you know, Fortnite thing we just don't understand or something?
No, this is Devil May Cry 5.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Why is it a banana arm? Yeah. I don't know. I guess because that game is B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Well, we'll definitely have to look deeper into that one.
Yeah, man. I know this is a game Demo's played a lot on his stream, so I want to see him rock the banana arm for sure. All right, so
awesome.
Overwatch League Finals coming to the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, right? That's going to be this September. Prizes for the top 2 teams going to total $1.7 million.
Jeez.
The event will be live streamed exclusively on Twitch and broadcasted in the USA on the ABC network.
Damn.
So check that action out, guys.
Well, that's awesome that it's getting so much recognition, like
Yes.
even for a national network to go ahead and put that out there. But
Yeah,
very cool.
and
on
the
Twitch.
Wells Fargo Center, I mean, that's no slouch.
Exactly. No, that's pretty awesome. No, very, you know, I know that's a huge popular game, so it's just cool to see that competitive gaming's getting so big.
I just hope someone with the hamster, you know, plays as the hamster that goes in the ball and rolls around with machine guns. I hope they win. I want to see the hamster guy win. I got to get into Overwatch. This game looks right up my alley with its like craziness.
Absolutely.
Right. Last but not least, we're talking about that Florida man, J-Dog. Florida man called 911 to report someone chasing him. All the cops could find was his crystal meth.
Well, definitely he probably had something chasing him. He's chasing the dragon.
The dragon was chasing him, man.
He was seeing dragons.
Maybe he was part of King's Landing.
Yeah.
Okay, we said no Game of Thrones spoilers, damn it, but it's all right. You guys are fine. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Valentina, I'm sorry you're not feeling so good. Hope you feel better soon, though. Glad you could come and hang out with us. So like J-Dog was mentioning earlier, there is a really cool website that we're going to feature in a future episode of the Power Hour very soon, and it's going to be the Florida Man edition of the Power Hour. You guys let us know if you think this will be fun. And basically what we're going to do is live on stream, we're going to be punching in birth dates and holidays and anniversaries that you guys want to throw down in chat, and we're going to read what the top Florida man story from that day in history is. So it's a super ton of fun. Obviously, we have a lot of these wild and crazy Florida man stories, and I was very much inspired by this, by a conversation I had in Valentina's stream the other day where someone was like, "Oh, Power Hour, you're from Florida? Are you the Florida man?"
Hey, we're the man, that's for sure. Florida man.
I told him everyone in Florida is a little bit of the Florida man.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, it should be some fun stuff. We'll compile some crazy, wild Florida stories, and that should be a really fun episode. So we hope you guys can stick around for that. But that is going to wrap it up for the news tonight, and we're going to jump back into our summer movie preview, hit up July and August. Only a couple movies in those 2 months so far that we really wanted to let you guys know about, but we've also got just a little bit more of that Name That Game tournament.
Oh yeah, here we go. We definitely appreciate you guys staying up late with us tonight as we rock out these summer movies. Like we said earlier on, we're like, you know, we listed these out and we're like, man, we could definitely talk about these summer films for quite a while. But, you know, they all, no matter what, even if we're not a huge fan of it, like usually the summer movies just, I mean, they're blockbusters. I mean, there's stuff that's, you know, you're kind of waiting all year to see, and then they hit it. I mean, you know, we get the occasional good one out in December and the springtime, but summer's where it's at.
No doubt, man. So the big summer movie preview is always fun, but first and foremost, we got to hit that name, that game. All right, guys.
All right.
Again, we're going to show up a single slide of a random video game. It's up to you guys to be the first person to guess correctly what the title of this featured game is. First, second, and third place will all earn a different amount of points, and by the end of the month, the person who has scored the most points will win some super awesome prizes that we're going to tell you guys all about next week, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So get your typing fingers ready, get your thumbs ready if you're on your phone, because it is time to name that game.
Here we go.
Oh, look at this. This is certainly a unique looking game. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's definitely got a cleanness to it. That even when we were talking about that game earlier with like the pixels, like this just looks sharp.
No, it does. I mean, a lot of that's probably me blowing up a very small photo, but I know what you mean. Some of the other stuff being more pixelated is a little weird.
Well, I know when this game came out. Like
what in the hell is that? I've never seen this before.
Well, like I was saying, this game actually won some art awards. Like just the style of the game was very. They kind of took the Day of the Dead, the Mexican Day of the Dead, and really applied a lot of that to the gameplay.
Yes, Altos, you're very close out there. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, it looks like a lot of people are throwing down Life Reboot's answer, and I'm pretty sure that's because he's correctamundo out there. What is this? Slide? Okay, it's not that.
Just thought you guys might want to know.
Okay, let me check my slides here because they may be a bit out of order.
But definitely, this game, it was put out by LucasArts Games, which are known for a lot of their point and click adventure games of the early late 80s, early 90s. But this is actually the first one where you could actually either use like a joypad or use the keyboard to move around, where you didn't actually have to use the mouse to click. So like the characters would look at something and then you could go in and interact with it. So it's kind of cool.
Absolutely, guys. Yes, Grim Fandango, part of the Monkey Island people made this, right?
Yes, yeah, that was LucasArts. Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, Monkey Island series. Definitely is Spooky Butt out there? I know it's late over there on her side, but
I haven't seen her pop in. I saw Julio out there earlier, but he might have nodded off out there.
Well,
but Altos, yes, thank you, Aurelia. Yeah, we're not doing any Endgame spoilers tonight. That was a clip for next week. We'll be doing a full review and discussion about Endgame. So if you have seen the movie and you want to talk about it a little bit, feel free to join us next week. But tonight we're just going to be talking summer movie preview. We're going to be telling you guys a little bit about some awesome movies coming up and running through a little bit of that Name That Game tournament in between. So it should be a ton of fun. And thanks for coming by.
Well, I know this game is actually just recently released as a remaster.
Oh, nice.
So you can actually pick it up on all the major systems on PC. So I definitely highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good comedy. I know some people just don't like adventure games. Like they're just like, I don't vibe with that. Like going and combining things and figuring out what goes wrong. But I just loved those games so much as a kid. So
I like Life Reboot's giving us the code right here. He says it's before 2000, but after Atari. So I recognized it. So that's his window right there.
Absolutely. Well, I know I mentioned Spooky Butt earlier. I know she was playing Escape from Monkey Island.
Yeah, well, she played through the whole series of Monkey Island.
Yeah,
every game.
That one particularly, though, used the engine that Grim Fandango was built on.
Nice.
So it wasn't a point and click. I remember talking with her about it, and she's like, yeah dude, I just don't really like that one because it went away from the traditional, point and click. So while this was cool at the time, going back, it's kind of like, you don't want to mess with certain series. You just want to let them stay the way they are, All
right. Well, talking about certain series that they may have messed with a little bit, but they need to stay just the way they are, we are talking about our big blockbuster coming out July 2nd, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I don't think there's any argument that this iteration of Spider-Man is just the best iteration of Spider-Man.
I know both of them, back in the day, we were always saying, Tobey Maguire, he was awesome. He was awesome. But, man, Tom Holland, man, he's killing it, man.
Yes.
He is Spider-Man.
Yes.
So.
Hey, you grab a kid from the UK, nailed it.
But, yeah, this looks really interesting. He's going to be going on a little trip with some of his friends, and man, he just gets tossed into all kinds of craziness.
Yeah.
Now,
so interestingly enough, they just released a trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, a new trailer that at the beginning of it, Tom Holland actually comes out and says this will have major spoilers for Endgame. So we're not going to talk too much about this movie other than the earlier trailer that we saw. So we know that Mysterio is a bad guy in it. We don't know what's going on. It looks like he's over in Europe with his friends and stuff. So it seems like there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on there. I'm sure we'll mention it a little bit next week. So again, if you guys have seen Endgame, don't mind some spoilers or want to discuss that, come back next week and we'll tell you guys a little bit more about Far From Home. But in my opinion, from what we've seen so far, this looks like it's going to be a pretty stellar movie, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, you know it, man. Like I said, it's the first movie after Endgame, so it's going to have definitely some stuff in there. So before you check out this one, definitely catch Endgame. So
no doubt.
And I see Life. I see you down there, man. Let me see if I remember this one. Because your mother looks like a cow. I think that might be the response to that one. What Life's referring to in the first Monkey Island game, the pirates fight by insulting each other.
Oh, nice.
So what you have to do is you actually have to go and learn the insults.
Okay.
So you go through. But what's really neat, a little factoid, and then we'll move on. They were actually written by Orson Scott Card.
Oh, wow.
The insults, they went to him and they were like, "Hey, could you help us?" And he helped. Right, and they're hilarious, when you learn them. But yeah, I might be a little, I might be a little forgetting that. But I know I think it has something to do with a cow or something like that with the dairy farmers. Awesome throwback.
Orson Scott Card, really known well from Ender's Game, a film that came out, was adapted a little while ago, but a fantastic book series, also including Shadow of the Hegemon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, what was the other one?
Xenocide.
Xenophobia or something? Genocide? That's what it is. It was
Speaker of the Dead.
Speaker of the Dead.
Yeah, they were
really interesting book series. Very cool stuff.
Yeah. Orson Scott Card, lots of. I know he has the Alvin Maker series and stuff like
true,
that.
Yeah.
So just a great author and a great comedy writer for insults for Monkey Island. So
no doubt, man.
Awesome stuff.
All right, July 12th is no slouch though, as it crawls into theaters with Crawl.
Oh, man. When I first saw that this was coming out on the 12th, I had no idea what it was. So I went and watched this trailer. If you guys are a fan of like Evil Dead or any of those type of horror movies where they got some of that dark comedy in it, like you got to go check out Crawl. Now it hits close to home for us, for me and El Bandito and some of our other friends out there in the Legion because we live in Florida. Well, this takes place in Florida where there's a hurricane coming at the state. And this girl goes to get her father, who I don't know if he can't get around well by himself, but she goes to find him. But then the storm rolls in and starts flooding their house. Well, if that isn't enough to contend with, there's also this giant alligator that's trying to eat him as well. So I mean, it's produced by Sam Raimi, director of Spider-Man and Evil Dead. But it's being directed by the guy.
The original Spider-Man.
Yes,
the original
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Sorry, not the newest one. But it's being directed by the guy who did the Hills Have Eyes remake, which I know that dude can get pretty wild. But this looks like it's going to be kind of fun, action-y horror as well. So definitely check out the trailer after Power Hour tonight. I think any kind of horror comedy fans will dig it. So.
No doubt, man. I love the Florida connection, so I think it's definitely going to be one of the few horror movies I'm definitely going to have to check out. But if you want to talk about something I'm connected with, man, one of my absolute, if not, I will say it is my favorite of all time Disney animated films coming out July 19th with its sort of live-action remake, The Lion King. Now, I say sort of course, because the animals are still all CGI, so it still seems pretty animated. I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe there's some scenes in there that they use actual animals in, but considering they talk, I doubt it.
Man, I thought this was going to be a Pocahontas movie. That's not your favorite one? No, I'm just kidding, man. No, absolutely.
Pocahontas is pretty baller.
But no, definitely this, like you said, it kind of coming off the tail of Aladdin there. It's kind of funny that these are coming out so close, but I hear this is directed by Jon Favreau.
Dude, I'm sitting here staring at what Aur3llia wrote, and I'm like, what is that? And it just occurred to me, she's doing the thing you told me earlier when you brought this up. She's going to, this isn't really a remake. Because it's still animated.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much for that. That tickled me.
So good, so good. But Jon Favreau, also Happy Hogan.
Yes,
over there.
Jon Favreau, original director of Iron Man.
Yes,
obviously kickstarting the MCU. Pretty competent damn director. So it should be pretty cool to see what he does with the film. Again, it seems to very much mirror the animated film, including James Earl Jones still starring as Mufasa. So,
oh yeah. We know what's coming.
Want them to include animated bloopers a la Pixar. Yeah, that might be pretty awesome. But yeah, like I'd love to see some behind the scenes featurettes on this. I might dig them up in my free time just to see how much of this is actually done with real animals. Because I know the original animators of the 2D film, the classic film, they had animals brought in, like lions and stuff, and different meerkats and stuff. They were brought in, or they would go to zoos and studios, but literally be put in the same room with them. They would have these small dividers, but that way they could draw and practice their motions and movements and things like that, which is why that animated film has such a great command of the way these animals are moving.
Absolutely, man. Well, we'll have to see how it all goes out. Like I said, Aladdin's coming in, and then The Lion King.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very live action Disney summer coming at us.
It very much is. And I'll be surprised to see if Aladdin tanks, which I don't think it will, but if it does, will that affect Lion King? Or if it does great, how great will Lion King do on the backside? Why did they put these two out in the same summer? That seems so weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you put them out a year apart, just like the original movies were? But whatevs.
We'll have to see how it goes.
But yeah, I'm sorry, man.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, rounding out our family-friendly July here, we've got Quentin Tarantino's latest Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep, July 26th, the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino, who says he's only going to direct 10 movies. So we got one more coming out. But I'm actually very excited to see this. Like, I watched the trailer. It's very kind of reminiscent of his earlier work, like like
Reservoir Dogs. And
stuff. Not so Django Unchained or The Hateful Eight, like where I know those were set back in the Western times.
Yeah.
But this looks like it's going more for like a 1960s era, So I know there's going to be a lot of characters that are represented, like Sharon Tate. Who unfortunately, met her demise with the Manson family. So I have a feeling like they're kind of portraying in the trailers like the kind of like happy, like kind of just jokey parts where this could get pretty grim too. So
I bet.
Definitely go, like you said, go into this one being prepared to be unsettled probably by the time it's all
now
done.
I haven't seen any trailers or anything for this yet, so I'm a little on the fence about it because like you said, it is very reminiscent of Reservoir Dogs and stuff like that. But I think The Hateful Eight is very much like Reservoir Dogs.
That's true.
If you think of the actual structure of the film.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of people stuck in one place, just dialogue. Now, while Quentin Tarantino is like the master of dialogue, that ultra-violent stuff it is sometimes a little too much for me when it's just contained. Like something like Kill Bill that has a story that goes along with it and the scenes are changing and stuff. Like, it holds my interest better than just continual ultra violence,
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, not to get too into that story, but Sharon Tate was like 8 months pregnant when she was murdered. So I mean, it's like it could get pretty nasty, And I guess Margot Robinson is playing.
Margot Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie. That's it. She's playing Sharon Tate. So we'll have to see where this. Maybe it doesn't even venture, maybe it's before all that stuff goes down. But knowing Tarantino, I'm sure.
I mean, it might be an alternate timeline story like he likes doing with like Inglourious Bastards, where they actually kill Hitler at the end of the movie.
That's true.
Oh, spoiler for that one. Sorry, guys.
Maybe she'll kill Charles Manson.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe. So Aur3llia says she's very excited for this, while Carmilla says she said Jeremy Irons isn't reprising his role as Scar. I agree. Jeremy Irons is pretty amazing in that original part.
Yeah.
So do you know, Carmilla, who is playing Scar in the new movie? I've heard him, but I don't recognize the actor. If you know, throw it down in chat.
I know that I think Seth
Rollins? Seth Rollins.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Is that the one? I think he's playing one of the Timon or
I think he's Pumbaa.
Is he Pumbaa?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You know what I think is a great call? John Oliver is playing Zazu.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like that's pretty dope.
Reprising Rowan Atkinson,
Yeah.
Mr. Bean over there. Yep.
Like, big English nerd. Perfect.
There you go.
Okay. I am not familiar with that actor at all.
Huh.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that actor. Eric Andre is Pumbaa. Oh, is he? Okay. Well, who's Seth Rogen playing then?
I know he's in the film. At least I saw him on the credit.
I bet Eric Andre is Timon though. Because Eric Andre seems like he'd be Timon. Oh, Timon's the meerkat.
Yes.
So that seems like that's who Eric Andre would be, where Seth Rogen would be like the heavy set pig warthog thing, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna look it up right now.
In the jungle,
because I'm curious. Because that just seems weird. It seems like they should be reversed to me, but
they're voice acting. Damn it!
I know. I shouldn't base it on their actual physical appearance. Yeah, Seth Rogen is playing Pumbaa.
Yep.
And Eric Andre is playing Azizi.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even remember who Azizi is.
Is that like one of the hyenas or something?
Oh, I think he is. Well, no. No. He's not. Let's click on it and see if it says who it is. I don't know. I don't know who Azizi is.
Well, maybe they added some more characters just to squeeze in a couple more.
Maybe they're just characters that we didn't know their name.
Yeah.
But it looks like Billy Eichner is playing Timon.
Gotcha. I wonder who's replacing Cheech as the main.
Oh, okay. Carmilla
hyena.
says Azizi is a hyena. See, I thought the hyena's name was like Ed.
Well, that's the one. That's the goofy one.
Okay. Let's see what are the hyenas' name in the Lion King. We're just going down the rabbit hole on silly stuff now. Whatever. It's past 11. Hyenas' names in the Lion King. All right. Yeah, Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed. So not Azizi. So who the heck is Azizi in the Lion King?
Maybe an additional hyena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Maybe it's a new character.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah. There's
okay. It's saying Eric Andre as Ed the hyena, in parentheses, Azizi.
Okay.
So maybe that's like his official name, and they just call him Ed.
That was kind of like a real kind of far out name, just to,
Yeah,
Pumbaa, Timon, Simba, Ed.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I remember that dude's name is Ed, because it's like the only normal name. But yeah, it says Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed were the three. Bonsai and Ed are spotted hyena. Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed are a spotted hyena trio who are Scar's henchmen. Shenzi was the one voiced by Whoopi Goldberg and is the only female of the three.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting stuff.
Ed is a dumbass.
They reminded me very much of the Weasels from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They're great characters, a lot of fun.
Oh, so cool.
So, well, but interesting stuff. Cool to run down the rabbit hole, guys. Thanks for keeping us on our toes out here. But
I think it's time for
getting back to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, coming out July 26th. Tarantino's 9th film, guys. Check it out. Let us know what you think. We'll be checking it out and talking about it, I'm sure. But right now, it's time for another edition of Name That Game.
I was going to say, I was pretty sure there's going to be a couple of hyenas in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. But all right, guys, here we go. We got two more for you tonight, but we're going to split it right in the middle with some more talks. We got a few things in August, but let's hit them with it, man. Come on, let's do it.
No doubt.
Rock and roll.
Name this game, guys. Bam. Oh, check it out. And we want you to be as specific as you can.
Yes.
What is this game? Sorry, it's a little pixelated. It was very tiny, and we had to make it not so tiny. So it's a little pixelated, but actually looking pretty good for an older game. Altos, no reason to apologize. Thank you so much for, just commenting, hanging out with us, keeping us on our toes, letting us check. Like I said, it's been a heck of a long time since I've seen this movie, but I actually used to have the complete set, 1 through 100 of, I think I still have this. I shouldn't have it. I have it somewhere, but it's the trading cards for the Lion King film. Super big fan of the movie.
There you go, man.
Yep. Looks like a Metal Slug or Contra. Maybe. But like we said, if you could be specific, oh man. Okay, see, I don't know what's going on now. Check it out. I think we're gonna have to give this one to Carmilla, though. I think so.
Well, okay, I see. Well, it looks like Mr. Fusion kind of meant to
Oh,
put
I see. He put it in two different comments.
Yep.
When we said be specific. All right, so we'll give that one to Mr. Fusion then.
But Carmela definitely still gets some points there.
Yes.
Now we do see that Life did name out Contra,
yes.
but we were kind of looking for that number as well.
Yes. Thank you, Aur3llia. And yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Fusion. I didn't realize that they were separate. I just saw the 4, but I see now you had Contra above that.
But look, Life got in there for that third place. So he's still getting some points in there. So now that's awesome, guys. Like I know last week we got into a little Contra talk. And, definitely, I wanted to throw some love that way. Now, this was only released actually on Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
So that's why grabbing or blowing up a good-sized photo kind of proves a little difficult.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did play this, and as much as, I love those first few games, I mean, definitely the first one's great. Alien Wars, awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
Contra 4 was a great return. Side-scrolling, had all the cool bosses and stuff like that, but I never got to the end of this one. So a little older now, not so fast with the fingers,
Yeah, I only ever really played one game on the DS, and it was this weird Mario-like match game thing where like it would show you a face, and then it would scramble a bunch of faces, and you had to pick that face out of it. But so it was like hidden, like a Where's Waldo kind of thing. And, dude, I got like 800 rounds of this thing, like, on my DS. It was, like, insane. I played for, like, 4 hours. So crazy.
Dude, it's like I had one, and then, like, I played a few games on it, and then I got the 3DS, but it was like a 2D, but I remember playing the Zelda game that came out on that, and it was really good because it was, like, the old style, and that's what I liked about those portable ones, that they would make, like, they would make new games, but like in this retro style.
Yes.
Like for Contra 4, I know there was a couple Batman games that came out on that, and Metroid as well, which is another big fan. Don't worry, Mr. Fusion. You got number 1 on that, man. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Mr. Fusion got number 1 on that one, and then Carmela, and then Life Reboot. So don't stress there, man. You're all set.
I like Alto's comments though. He's like keeping you on your toes. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. We're throwing you a little bit of Twitch love out there. We appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna talk about 2 more movies, and then we're gonna hit one more Name That Game.
Yep.
So we're gonna fire through it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Absolutely, man. Coming out August 2nd, Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw is coming out. Now, it's been a while since I bothered going to the theater to check out a Fast and Furious movie, I will be honest. But this one kind of being a little bit of an offshoot, starring Dwayne, oh gosh, say his name.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Why do I say I'm like I'm 6 years old? Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's okay. It's after 11:30. You're like a gremlin.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? And Jason Statham. Playing the 2 titular roles there. Also in the film are going to be Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And Idris Elba, who's actually playing the villain, which I know you said was very interesting.
Yeah, I could be wrong. He might have other films out there where he's been a bad guy, but, after he's, Hemdale and Roland and all these other characters that are, monumental good guys, it's almost kind of cool to see him play a bad dude, know? But like you said, Roman Reigns, the Rock's, he's a cousin or a nephew or something, I don't know. But
they're related in real life.
Yeah, to that huge family. But he's going to be in the movie as well, playing a relative of the Rock's character as well. So it should be kind of cool. I know these guys were they were adversaries in the previous film, so kind of putting them together as a team might be interesting.
It might give them a little bit of a Tango and Cash feel, which is an old reference, but, a little kind of buddy cop where they're not really buddies action. So it might be a fun movie. It looks a little over the top-ish, but I think that's indicative of Fast and Furious films to begin with.
Oh, you know it.
But I just think The Rock is fun. Like, I like him as an actor. I think Jason Statham is great. He seems very serious in a lot of stuff, but I've never seen a movie with Jason Statham that I didn't think was at least entertaining.
I think would be a good experiment? Like if we watched this movie and then went back and watched the first Fast and the Furious and just kind of did an analysis on it and be like,
I kind of feel like I should watch some of the other ones with The Rock in it before I see this movie, but I'm like, man.
But I think that's what would be kind of fun to see how different, because that one kind of came out and I remember all the guys with the soup. You see the Fast.
But he wasn't in the first one.
Oh, I know,
but
just
the 7th one or 5th one or something.
I just think it's so funny how the series has really
grown.
Yeah,
It's grown to the sense that now it has spin-offs. That's
Exactly.
pretty amazing, you know? But hey, very cool. It's cool to see a franchise hang out for a long time. I saw a preview for this when I saw Captain Marvel, and I was like, you've got to be effing kidding me. Fast and the Furious 27. Dude, it's apparently not going away. And what's funny is internationally, these make a crap ton of money.
yeah.
Same as like Transformers. Like, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of people in the States who really want to see too many more Transformers movies.
Yeah.
But overseas, the special effects-driven action of both of those films are a huge, huge, huge draw. So it's going to live on.
Yeah, and like you said, yeah, it seems to be, man, those money makers. They're gonna just like the horror films. They're like, hey, if they make money and people pay to see them, they're like, yeah, we'll keep putting them out. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, it's all right. I was gonna say, but if you guys want to hear about a movie that's not a remake, that's a brand new property coming out, but also fulfills a little bit of that heartfelt nostalgia. If you've ever read this classic tale, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, yeah, August 9th. It's coming to you live. You know, it's going to be a live rendition of those classic tales that I'm pretty sure came out. I mean, they probably predate us, but I remember in elementary school getting this book at a book fair.
Yep,
and
the old
being
book
like,
fair.
yeah, and reading The Hook, you know, about the couple that go out and they're, you know, on a date and they hear the scratching and they drive away and there's a hook. It's just,
dude, Bloody Fingers.
Oh,
absolute favorite. Bloody Fingers. That story is so good.
Man, why don't you get yourself a Band-Aid?
I would love to see it done on the big screen. Super fun.
Well,
so if you're a fan of classic horror, if you've ever seen this book when you were a kid, this is going to be a super ton of fun.
You know it, man. And like you said, it looks like, I mean, I know Del Toro has some, you know, involvement.
Benicio del Toro?
He has some
Or
involvement.
Guillermo del Toro.
The
director or the actor?
The director.
Okay,
sorry,
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
There
Yeah, he's got some hand in it. So definitely some of those more creepy characters you're going to see come to life in this film. So
yeah, coming off his work of Pan's Labyrinth or the Hellboy series, he's done a lot of really creepy, cool stuff. So yeah, pretty excited to check this one out.
Now, a real funny thing about the original book, like some of those illustrations were just so like weird and demented that they like in like the 90s or early 2000s they actually tried to have that book banned or re-released with like different artwork.
Yeah, that wasn't so creepy.
Yeah, but you know, people, you know, they fought against that, and you could still get, you know, the real deal with all the black and white just creepiness, and I think that
Super
adds
creepy.
to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, super nice. Alto's asking if we're excited about Dark Phoenix. We were really hyping up Dark Phoenix a lot earlier. We're super excited about it. We love what Bryan Singer did coming in from Days of Futures Past and kind of fixing up a lot of what had gone off the rails in the X-Men universe. But the X-Men universe in comics is so like that, where they're constantly retconning and time traveling and changing things, that we almost love the aspect of the movies going awry for a while and then kind of getting placed back in line. But the new series of actors that they have with Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, like these guys are amazing at these roles. They're absolutely crushing them, and we're really excited to see them take on Dark Phoenix, considering it wasn't completely well handled in The Last Stand. It wasn't awful, but they left out a lot of the cosmic aspects of it, the Macran crystal, the Shi'ar Empire, all the different things that wound into what the Phoenix really was. The fact that it was a cosmic entity inhabiting Jean Grey's body and not just some manifestation of her own bipolar tendencies or something, you know, which is what they really drove for in the original film. So this one here definitely has more of a link to the cosmic. They show them in outer space at the beginning and everything. So I really like that. And I just think they're going to crush it. I love the tone of the trailer, and I think it's really going to be great. Senior Bull, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, man. Like, yeah, Dark Phoenix is definitely one that I want to check out. You know, coming off of Endgame and stuff like that, it's like I'm really in the mood to check out another comic book film. You know, and of course we know we got Spider-Man coming, but smack dab right there in the middle, Dark Phoenix is coming in to fly in, and you know, it looks like it's going to cause some cause some real destruction going down, which, like you said, is very much, you know, in line with what we got in the comics and the old X-Men cartoon. So I can't wait to see it. Great cast, and I can't wait to talk about it after we've checked it out.
No doubt, man. Okay, Alto says Michael Fassbender is incredible. I can't wait to see how Magneto handles the situation. Absolutely. Senior Bull mentioned earlier the scene in which she says, "Did you come here to threaten me?" And he's like, "Yes." Oh, and you're just like, what a baller, dude. But I have to say, just taking it back a little bit to X-Men First Class, when that movie first came out, it just blew my mind because it was like 3 movies wrapped into one. It very much was a way over the top comic book movie. It was a very way over the top James Bond style movie, and it was a way over the top war epic because Michael Fassbender was running the trail of this. He was basically the same character out of Inglourious Bastards. Like, he was running this epic war epic, while Kevin Bacon had turned into sort of a James Bond villain with his submarine and mirrored rooms and secret passages in the 60s. And I was like, what the hell? And then you had all the really cool X-Men stuff with McAvoy. So the way they wove those 3 stories together, to me, was actually masterfully done because that's the X-Men universe in my mind. When I used to read the comics from different writers, different artists, different series, and try to piece them all together, that's very much the way that it felt. It would have different tones and different things going on. But I will never in my life forget the scene when Michael Fassbender is in some South American country and he's caught up to these ex-Nazis, right? And they're sitting in the bar and he stabs that one guy in the hand. And a guy pulls out a gun over here and he throws the knife at the guy, uses his magnetic powers to pull the knife back and stabs it right in the same guy's hand. And I was like, that was so cool, and never a way that I imagined Magneto using his powers. And that's one thing about these series and Michael Fassbender being a part of them, is that they constantly surprise me in the innovative ways that they're using the talents of these characters in real world applications. So I'm excited to see them take a lot of the cosmic level elements of Phoenix and bring that down to Earth and actually film it. I think that's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, man. No, it's going to be really cool. Can't wait to see it. I also see Life's throwing down about the scary stories. Absolutely, man. Like, those stories really got you thinking. Like, you know, I always made the mistake of reading them right before I went to bed, and I'd be sitting there like looking out my window and just, you know, thinking I saw the Scarecrow Man or Bloody Fingers, or I'd hear something. Like I said, it really got your mind working like that. They're just fantastic.
Oh, hey, Altos, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in chat, having some great contributions to it, and being so positive yourself. You know, we're just here to share nerdy shit that we love. That's why we're the Power Hour of Love, man. So we appreciate you coming by, hanging with us, and sharing your thoughts as well. So, yeah, definitely come back anytime. You're more than welcome. You have yourself a great night. We'll be wrapping up ourselves soon, but we figured why not leave you beautiful people with one last Name That Game.
One more to go.
All right.
One more for the road.
So get them fingers ready, get them typing thumbs set, because it is time to name this game.
Do it.
Boom. Hit it on the big screen, baby. All right. This one may have some oddly recognizable characters.
Now we need an exact name for this one.
Good night, Altos. Thank you so much. Yes, be as specific as you can. You can't just say the thing in the corner. Like, that's not going to cut it.
This is good. What this is based on is probably one of the, well, I would have to say my favorite animation series of all time.
Aurelia, thank you for coming in with that mad comic book knowledge. Always.
This one's
looks like Batman Returns. I can tell you Batman Returns was the most infuriating freaking game I ever played. I hated that game. This is not that game, but that game made me want to beat my face against a wall. It's one of those things. It's like my parents bought it for me as a gift, so it's hard to be like, I hate this, and you have to kind of play it because you don't want to feel ungrateful. But yes, that game was just
absolutely, man. Like, I'd
have so hard.
You know, even when you played like the original Batman '89 game on Nintendo, you're like, this doesn't really feel like Batman. It's just another platformer. Now this game right here really made you like kind of feel. But until Arkham Asylum came out later on, this was a great Batman game.
Yes, no doubt. This one was very good. I love that it kept all the styles of the animated series, and in a sense was actually named after a portion of the animated series that actually went through different titles throughout its inception. Aurelia, no, you nailed it. Yep, it's Spider-Man. Got it. It was so fun, man. Thanks for hanging out with us as always.
All right, we're going to give you guys a few more seconds. How are we looking over there?
I think...
we're looking good?
I think we're looking good. I don't know.
Oh man, Carmela, yeah, you're definitely you're
winning.
Man, she's pulling out a real oldie. I remember that one on the NES, The Return of the Joker. Unfortunately, that's not it.
Again, this was named after a portion of the original animated series that may or may not already be in chat.
We thought that at this point, the last one of the night, we're not going to explode when you guys are like, got it.
Yeah, I finally learned not to just be like, dude, nailed it. Everyone just copy that answer.
But go ahead and throw
Life
it up.
Reboot nailed it, and everyone just copy that answer. It is The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was, I believe, the 3rd season of the show. They switched the names from just Batman to The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Now, I do see Mr. Fusion down there. Definitely want to just throw out a notification for you. He absolutely is right that this was the one that was released on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
There was a Sega Genesis version of this game, but it was developed by a different company. So they had, while they were similar using characters, the gameplay was very vastly different. So
yeah, much like the original Ghostbusters on NES, Sega Master System, and Atari, were virtually completely different games.
Back in those days, even though you had the games, on the system, didn't mean you were getting the same. Nowadays you're getting
they keep that same experience across the board when they do share games. But yeah, back then it was almost like the developer had to redesign certain things for whole different code or something, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, just because I think there was limitations. The systems weren't exactly now, they're not exactly the same, but they use a lot of the same innards and stuff like that. But back then, man, like when you'd hear a soundtrack on the Sega Genesis, you were like, dude, this is the bomb. But I always kind of felt that the graphics wise, the Super Nintendo was a little sharper. It just depends. It's all in the eye of the beholder. I know you were much more of a Sega Genesis player. I owned them both, so I had
best of both worlds.
Yeah, I had mutual love.
Yeah, you're locutusing it up over there, man.
No, it was. I was just like, I got to have them all.
You went straight Ash. You went all Pokemon on them.
I did. I just was never really much of a mobile like Game Gear or
DJ Napalm's like Life Reboot should be disqualified. He's too much of a gamer.
Hey, well,
legend. We've been trying hard. We hit him up for like 2 weeks now. We wish our friend Steve Z could make the Twitch switch and get over here and play with us. He absolutely dominated this game last year.
Yes.
So we're really sad to not see him here, but Life, you're picking up the mantle, you're picking up the torch, and you're crushing it, man. So, but we hope everyone is having fun. Again, we will be giving away prizes for 2nd and 3rd place as well. So don't be discouraged. You never know. Life might not even watch the stream next week, but we hope he does. We hope you're here, and we love that you're kicking butt. But again, we're going to make some easy ones, some hard ones, and try to get everybody involved. Then the most important part is that we're having fun. So we hope you guys are.
And that last week, we usually we powerhouse it. Like we'll be doing one every few, we'll double point, we'll do some fun stuff. Yeah. So absolutely, guys. So very cool. So we're going to talk about what we're doing next week one more time.
I think so. I think to round out the night, we're going to let you guys know that next week we are going to be having our official Avengers Endgame discussion and review. So if you have seen the film and are unencumbered by spoilers, feel free to join us next week. We'll be dedicating the entire hour to that, talking about Endgame, our thoughts and theories about what's been going on, what's been happening, things we liked about the movie, things we didn't like about the movie. So if you guys are fans of Avengers, if you saw Endgame and you know some friends that do that all want to share their thoughts and opinions about it, please invite them and bring yourself back here next week where we're going to hopefully be making your week a little bit better 1 hour at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, we'll be playing some games Wednesday night, 9 p.m. as well. Probably rocking some Sea of Thieves. We might do a little bit of Dead by Daylight with this Ghostface, though. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know if he's releasing just yet, but once he does drop, you absolutely know we're going to have to get in there with the Jeebus crew and a few other folks that, have rocked out some Dead by Daylight with us before. So we will definitely keep our eyes peeled for that. But you guys definitely check us out on Wednesday and, of course, next Monday.
Absolutely, guys. And if you ever want to play a game with us, feel free to hit us up anytime through any of our social media stuff down on the dashboard. And we are sponsoring the really incredible charity that Democracy and Aur3llia are both supporting as well. This month, it is To Write Love on Her Arms. ! Charity in the chat will actually bring up a link to the charity itself. If you can donate, Life Reboot, thank you so much for the sub. Look at that, 2 months. That is awesome.
I love it. I like he's like, disqualify this.
Nice. Never disqualified. You're the man, dude. Yes.
So cool.
Yeah, thank you for the shout out for Life Reboot, for Democracy, and the charity as well, guys. Go out and check out Life Reboot, an incredible retro streamer rocking some Final Fantasy VII right now.
So
and once ranked 4th in the world at Donkey Kong, guys. So analytical gamer at its peak. Go check him out. And he's super ton of fun, super good guy. The top of the building lines up with me like a hat.
There you go.
I have a little hat.
And don't worry.
It's like a little birthday hat.
There you go. Oh, yeah, I definitely know there was a couple birthdays out there today, but folks hadn't popped in yet. So definitely anyone who is celebrating a birthday today, have a great day.
Oh, definitely, Carmilla. I appreciate you spreading it down there. Spread the love, guys. Anyone who subs to the channel gets a little bit of love down there, so feel free to spread it.
And speaking about spreading the love, who are we spreading with after we kind of skedaddle? Who's getting the share?
Yeah, we're gonna be hitting it up. Let's see. Well, we could go see some Mordhau action, or we could go see some Dark Souls 3. What do you think? What do you think, Senior Boy?
Now, you said Dark Souls?
Yeah,
that's kind of wild.
Honestly, how do you guys feel about checking out some more Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, man.
Checking out some Final Fantasy VII? That might be cool.
Who's playing Final Fantasy VII tonight?
Luminaria Rain, who I just met yesterday, coming off of a raid from Life Reboot, but was an amazingly kind streamer, super positive, super ton of fun. And if she's out here still streaming, I know she's got a pretty big crowd right now, though, it looks like. What do you guys think? What do you think, Aurelia? You want to hit up someone who's got a pretty decent crowd? That's not too bad, right? We could do that. Or should we hit up Klops? What do you think?
Is Klops playing that?
He's playing Mordhau, yeah.
That game did look pretty awesome.
You want to check it out again some more, Senior Bull?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. All right.
All right. He made the decision, Aurelia, right there. We're going to go check out Klops and some Mordhau, guys. So stick around for the raid. Super ton of fun. Again, we'll be back next week with some Avengers Endgame talk and discussion. And we will be here on Wednesday playing some games and having some fun with y'all. And if you ever want to play a game, hit us up in any of our social media things down in our dashboard below. Check out the charity Aurelia threw out earlier. I appreciate it so much. Aurelia, again, our master moderator down there who feels bad shouting herself out, so I'm gonna. That's her down there. Get over to her amazing stream. She's a charity streamer, usually streams Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and basically anyone else in our beautiful chat is an amazing and wonderful streamer. We appreciate all you beautiful people hanging out with us so dang much. Any final thoughts for the beautiful people out there, Senior Boyle?
Yeah, as always, much love to everybody out there. You guys are always so good to us, coming back every week and hanging and having a great time, so we keep partying it up for you guys, sharing some great knowledge, playing some games, and just having an all-around good time. We do it on Monday night because we know, hey, it's the start of the week. We all need that little extra.
Yeah, a little fun to get you going.
Yeah, get you going. But definitely we'll catch you guys on Wednesday and then, of course, next week for that awesome Avengers discussion. Absolutely, guys. So thank you all for tuning in. Carmilla, have a great night. Catch some sleep, and we'll catch you next time. Stick around for the raid. Yeah.